Are live indeed.
Indeedy. Well, we'll just start this off the same way as usual. Welcome to ScotsRant Podcast. This is now episode 4. Didn't think we'd make it this far, thought we would have killed each other by now.
Well, it's episode 4. We have had a few trial runs as well, so we're doing
Yeah.
quite well, to be fair.
Yeah. Well, as usual, I'm your host, Gizzy the Gremlin, with my co-host.
Reece 1.
Tonight we've changed the night just because, well, we've got to release a Cold War tomorrow and a lot of us are going to be jumping on top of that. Me, myself, included, I'm going to be playing the hell out of the zombies.
Yeah, this is the first Call of Duty I've been somewhat excited about, so I'll probably be doing a little bit as well. But I need to blame Gizzy Liquid for actually being excited for COD for once. So I'll be playing that as well. But yeah, this week because obviously the episodes are fortnightly. What we do is we'll be talking more about the weird side of Twitch. The bit that we don't tend, or not many of us tend to go on. And then we're going to have a bit of a rant. We don't really rant. We more go off on tangents. The podcast might not be the best named, but we're going to have a bit of a rant about some specific things that have went on about orgs that we've noticed. More so yourself, Gizzy, but me.
Yeah.
From my marketing standpoint, I like to bring it back. I like to try and use my degree in this. But the things I've kind of noticed, how it works, but it's really poor practice, and it's really not fair on the streamers themselves. But
well, before I go any further into this, I'm going to say it right down to your chat. Price it. Keep the Riot stuff right now to the minimum. They have a podcast. Everything like that's fine in other streams, even I accept it in my streams, but at this point in time, I will start hitting people with timeouts now.
I know. We're not having the Riot tonight, Pricey, but I do appreciate the host. And yes, Fox, I am going to use my education to form my opinions, mainly because it's 4 years of my time. If I'm not going to use it for work just now, by God, I'm going to use it on Twitch.
4 years of his life wasted.
Aye. No, the first 3 years doing bioscience, now that was wasted. I know, yeah, Pricey, I know. We were speaking about it earlier.
Pricey, we cannot have the laugh and the joke, mate. I'm not going to be like mean or take anything out on you. What I'm just saying is, when it comes to the podcast, we just try our best to keep it to chats at minimum and stuff like that. That's why we both switch off commands, both switch off sound effects and stuff like that. But so nothing interrupts.
If you have questions, we will answer them as the podcast goes on. I know that.
And then in the last 10 minutes of the podcast, then we can riot.
Of course. Last 10, 15 minutes is more than welcome there. So I'm going to go down my wee rabbit hole that I discovered this week. I'd sort of seen stuff in the background about it, but I never knew anyone to do it. And then, next one, no worries. But no, basically, Dead by Daylight streamer. Only followed for, I don't know how long. Just something that you stick on in the background in the middle of the day because it's interesting to watch. Yeah, basically. And next thing I know is I'm clicking on it just later on, and it's this isn't a time they're alive, because they're American, and it's a sleep stream, and it's a lassie lying there in her bed sleeping, and there's 15 folk watching, and it's one of the most uncomfortable things I have ever seen. Like, it's just, I was in for about 5 minutes, and I'm just like, I'm trying to make sense of this. Like, is there a gimmick? Is there commands? Is there this? Is there that? There was nothing. It was literally her sleeping with some bass boosted like ASMR music on. That was it. Now, I don't know why this is becoming a thing on Twitch, because it turns out when I read up on it, there's a little bit more there than meets the eye.
The first person that ever happened to, I remember it was just the transaction for Justin TV over into Twitch, and it was an actual complete accident that the person the person like left his camera and everything on, left the stream on, and went to his bed. Started off as a complete accident. The person who I remember like doing it on purpose, first of all, was XQC. Was the first person I remember doing it on purpose. But he's always had that wild streak about him.
Yeah, I get that, and my sleep stream will never be will not happen unless I fall asleep. Well, actually, on stream. So that nearly happened before we were. I was an alcohol induced stupor.
all you'll see is this happening. Reece will be sitting there playing his game. There'll be,
but then it just tumbles back. Tell me about it. But I don't. I think it's like if it was used as a funny gimmick, maybe. Like I could maybe argue that point. But what it kind of draws back to, and it's something that I actually don't mind because it helps me relax and go to sleep, is ASMR.
Yeah.
So I'll listen to there's like specific frequencies that you can listen to, like kind of music and stuff that just help kind of zone you out and get you relaxed. That's it. I mean, there is the kind of like ones that are a bit more seedy, where it's like massage. I know. There's.
I'm saying nothing. I remember jumping into a Just Chatting one, and all I'm going to say it was a Japanese one that I seen, and it involved a paddling pool. That's all I'm going to say. And that was on a Just Chatting.
I'm not talking about like on Just Chatting. No, I'm talking about YouTube videos. On both the light and dark side of that, yeah. It's quite a strange one. No, this isn't ASMR, but this is me talking about ASMR. So, like, you have, like, for example, going onto the YouTube side, so understand where ASMR has its point, because there is something there. That's where they've started to discover the science side behind something to help people sleep. There is something there, and I've used different types before to help me sleep. I'll openly admit it. It's a bit weird, but yeah, it doesn't bother me. I'm quite happy to let people know I'm pretty weird. It's
I'll never understand that comment there. Scottish accents are therapeutic. Every time I've ever spoke to somebody, it's why do you sound so aggressive?
It's maybe but remember, we're not actually speaking the way we would normally speak. We're a wee bit more eloquent because we are.
Speak for yourself.
Well, I'm trying to be quite like to project my voice a little bit better. So I'm.
Yeah.
You know, I've got my posh voice, but so
voice.
That's the one but that's what people are talking about. No worries, Pricey. But people do find it like therapeutic. That's the thing, and that's another side of ASMR. Is, for example, you lower your voice and you start talking in a bit of a whisper, and it goes a little bit, and that's the kind of way it is. It's a kind of attention side of ASMR, so it's as if someone's talking to you.
Yes.
Not like that. That just gives me the chills, man. Didn't know the good ones.
This was the one that gave you the chill.
Yeah, that's getting weird. But yeah, like, but there probably is a place for that. That's the scary thing. Is there probably is an ASMR section on the internet that would.
There's an ASMR section actually on Twitch. People have that wee microphone and everything.
Yeah.
You speak at each side and it whispers in each ear.
Yeah, but that's what I'm saying is like there is that kind of place now. I didn't realise it was such a big thing on Twitch. I always knew it was a big thing on YouTube. Again, to relax after doing studying, whatever it is, I've used it. But then again, it's having the balls to basically be able to do that live. Like, some of the stuff is quite, again, seedy. Like, like there's, but then again, the kind of whisper, the touch, all that kind of thing. Not for everyone, but hey ho, it might be the case of, like, for example, some people like, and I'll admit it actually does work. if you've ever heard of Baba the Cosmic Barber, that one
I've
is
heard you talking about.
it's the guy that does all the kind of over-exaggerated gestures while doing a head massage and stuff. That's weird. That one's weirdly relaxing. And I don't know if it's when you're actually watching it or if it's just the general noise in the background because it's in India.
You know, I could actually link you something right now that is very bloody weird, and it's all about key touch and everything like that, and ways of doing things. And let's just say it set somebody off their head in a sort of way that you never expected it to.
Oh, right. Oh, fair enough. I mean, that's, again, it could be very much something like that. But these are the kind of things that you just see kind of change on Twitch, and I didn't realise that. But yeah, and that's things. Twitch is a constantly changing.
See, the one thing about Twitch that was made clear when it was founded, they were supposed to keep Justin TV going and Twitch going at the same time. Twitch was predominantly supposed to be the gaming one, but it blew up so much quicker, and Justin TV kind of just faded away. Which was supposed to be that was supposed to be like you're just chatting, your ASMR stuff, all of that, all real life stuff. And this was only
so like,
supposed to be
like open source television. Basically, that's what Justin TV was.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
That makes sense.
Just to say as well, Pricey, that isn't even me scratching the surface of this soundboard.
That's a terrifying thought, isn't it?
It is. It's a terrifying thought, but I'm not even scratching the surface of this. That was just me throwing on one voice.
But that's the thing. So, I mean, there's obviously, again, like, going down that rabbit hole, there's, I mean, is that maybe not quite on the side of, like, I'll bring this into voyeurism, in the sense that people that are basically get off on having people watch them. It's just a kind of weird take on it. But then again,
well,
you could say that for anyone on Twitch.
Like, you can say, you could say that for anybody. Like I know where you're coming from.
Voyeurism's like if you elicit some sort of like sexual pleasure from it. This is more just a case of I like this. Well, I don't like the sound of my own voice, but I like talking to people. Like that's the difference there. But like
can never guess about like the sound of your own voice.
I don't. Oh, that's the thing. Because
you're talking, you never shut up.
You're right there, man. But that's the thing is I don't listen to it back. But yeah, so like again, that's probably that was my kind of weird take of the week because, and it's probably not going to become a segment like the previous segment that never amounted to anything. But my weird take of the week is just, I
think that would be a good thing to bring to the podcast is each week have a weird take of the week. Like my one right now that I seen for a weird take of the week was literally people, and I don't know what it was about it, and to me I see it as a good laugh as well, but it was people trying to play Super Mario,
right?
And it was that Super Mario, I think it was like what is it, Matchmaker or something like that, the one you create your own levels in.
Paper Mario, was it not?
I don't know, I'm not 100%, but basically it was like all the hard levels and everything like that. And for some reason, every time somebody failed a mission, shall we say, or died, you would take a shot and take a bit of clothing off.
Oh, that's a bit weird. But I understand.
It got weird.
I understand the kind of drinking challenges on like Twitch. I understand that because people have done something quite similar. And Vox has put it rightly. Like you can also say you could have someone who plays grand strategy games, like us, like me, Vox, and that, and who gets off from people watching them play. So, but no, Vox, you just get off when people are watching you play anime games. That's what it is. But like yeah, like that's there is actually, but there is a bit of there is actually something to that. Is when you're playing the game, you are there, you are happy. Well, generally you're happy that people are there enjoying the content, hanging out with you. That's the kind of that's the main thing. But the main thing is...
Liquid, you're an absolute legend, bro, man. Thanks for the 250 bits. And Reece says hi. I think Reece has got my chat opened anyway, mate.
Hi, Liquid. That's awesome, man. He did the same for me the other night as well. is amazing. But
before we go down any further, Liquid, if you're playing zombies tomorrow, give me a shout, mate. I'll jump in with you.
Stretch. Oh, still got those commands on. I've still got my channel points
on.
So.
Yeah, you don't need to do that. You just need to keep it saved up, remember.
I know. But yeah.
Or stretch. There you go.
I know. But that's it. Is like but yeah, so kind of going on to our kind of next topic, because I've had my kind of my weirdness out. Maybe we'll make it a topic, obviously linked in with yours as well. There is people that just as well, for example, but like when you're drinking on Twitch, when you're streaming, people do those shot challenges. That's popular.
Yeah.
Well, I actually know someone.
We've already talked around and said that we're going to have that stream, shall we say?
Yes.
We're going to have that for the podcast.
So there is going to be something to that, but we're not going to. Thing is, we're not going to do a shot every time something happens. That's the thing. That's a bit probably against terms of service. I mean, to be fair, the stream I'm talking about was very against terms of service. I should not have been streaming that night. But yeah,
that's where you stop there and go, fuck it.
Yeah, no, I couldn't. It was bad. But there is a kind of certain thing where people will still test the boundaries, even though terms of service have been in place for so long and get gradually updated.
Yeah.
Because
the thing is, though, like one of the biggest things right now for it, like you're talking about it, is this DMCR stuff. This is the biggest thing right now.
For music and things like that, yeah.
This is the literal biggest thing that's happening right now. But again, there's not a lot Twitch can do, shall we say? Twitch tried their best. There's not a lot anybody can do, mate. It's just the best way to explain it. There is not a lot that anyone can do.
Oh, you can.
As much as we've tried our best and stuff like that, we just need to get our teeth and get on with it. Because the thing is, though, like Twitch have managed to get away with it for, if you want, this length of time. Yeah. YouTube got smacked with this back in 2015. That's when YouTube got smacked with it.
Aye, and it's getting gradually worse until people can only people that use like a 5-second stretch of a song and then their videos demonetized or worse.
That's literally all you have is 5 seconds. I can't remember what it was. I think it's something like 5 seconds, or even if you say 10 words out of like a song verse, it's a demonetization.
I know. I think.
And the thing is as well. Like I know hundreds of people that have fought demonetization stuff because they've used like, if you want, that 10-word space, but they never used the exact words for the song, and they're saying, "Oh, but you're using the background tune to it." And you're like, "I had nothing played. Your voice is following along with the tune."
I don't agree with that one, to be fair, and I don't agree with actually saying the words to the song. I believe that like you can, like, because you could say 10 words in a sentence, and it could be from any song.
I know it's weird,
but I understand. Like I understand that they can't monetize you playing a certain list of songs over again.
See, the thing is as well, like one of the things as well for the DMCR stuff,
DMCA,
is murder and stuff like that. But people like ourselves, DMCA, people like ourselves, if I'm playing music, I'm playing it off of Spotify. I've got that license in Spotify, but because of the way it works out,
it's a personal license.
Spotify for this license, but that's a personal license.
Yeah.
But the one thing that I always thought was pretty decent about it, and this just shows you, I used to watch some guys play games or whatever, and one of them had this really, really good sound, but it was like really, really good playlist. And it was all like, what was it? If you want, indie rock, chilled rock, and stuff like that. It was all rock music, but nothing heavy metal. Right? Which that's when I draw the line. I can't listen to your over the top screaming down your mic, wanting to break my eardrums type of rock music, but I can listen to the majority of it.
I get you.
And because I listened to him, I was like, "Oh, that's brilliant!" He gave me the name of that download, the name of that playlist, and I've still got that playlist to this day, and it's constantly getting updated.
Yeah, and that's it.
To me, that's free exposure for all these artists. Think about it, that's literally free exposure, because I listened to like 10 songs of this guy playing. I was like, I need his playlist, and now I've listened to every song multiple times.
Aye, so then your argument against that would be that say it's a stream of 50 people. That's 50 streams. If it's not 50 people, it's not getting paid for. There goes above and beyond what is the personal license.
Yeah,
I understand it, but the thing is as well is you're using it personally, and there's no I mean, without going into the whole kind of rigmarole, the law, like the actual law behind it, I believe that a lot of artists, well, smaller artists, have came out and says that the ones that they at least own their music will allow people to go out their way to listen to it. So I know that.
Yeah, like well, think about it. One of the ones that you can bring up, and he has a YouTuber as well, is KSI. KSI's came out and said that like everyone can use my music. Drake, is it Drake? Drake, who is heavily involved in 100 Thieves. He's turned around and said they can use it. They can use his music.
It's only certain music they can use because it depends on what label. Certain labels own certain music, so I think KSI can't use his older stuff, but can use his newer stuff. I don't know what it is he can use from Drake.
It's the same as well. Like, see, Marshmallow's actually got a deal with Fortnite, and that allows other people to use his music as well.
Yeah, I mean, I've actually just not long been sent the beta for Twitch music to basically try that out.
I'm going to get you to link that to me after this. I need to get the link in.
I will do. I've been using Harris Heller's music playlists, and they're royalty free. He's happy with the stream money, which he makes good money from the people anyway. But like, to be fair, I think it's just the ever changing thing. It was Grav and you that brought it to my attention. Was it May, June?
About that, yeah.
And then I still used it to a point, but then I've stopped using it.
Shameless plug. Everyone who wants to check him out, twitch.tv/Gravity UK.
Gravity UK. Yes, shameless plug, guy. Guest on episode 1 of the podcast. Episode 1 on our YouTube. ScotsRant, shameless plug. But aye, but yeah.
Mr. Reece is very quiet. We'll sort that out there for you, my man. Reece, say something.
Is that any better?
Too loud. Keep talking.
But yeah, like,
just keep talking.
For what I was saying, it was kind of announced, and it's only really been the last month where you've seen the repercussions of it. You've seen these bans coming through, and they're not like slap the wrist. It's perma bans for some people, or it's bans for periods of time. And
a lot of people as well right now are getting ghost bans.
Yeah,
I've seen that happening. A lot of people are getting the ghost bans. One of the things as well with this DMCA stuff and everything, it's literally new, and I've seen it a lot of it. It's made people basically go, if you want it, go and grab people by the nuts in a sense. If you want, it's got everyone by the nuts. Like all your old Twitch streamers and stuff like that, like see your Nick Mercs and stuff. They've been told delete all your old clips, or your channel's getting closed down.
Yeah, I mean, to be fair, I think they'll have downloaded most of the stuff anyway. But it's
for some reason, Jedi, we weren't actually going to be talking about DMCR. It's just suddenly tangible doing this. I keep saying DMCR, DMCA.
Aye.
We've just kind of tangible doing this route right now. So
we've kind of just went down the rabbit hole. But yeah, I think, but it's also game music as well. So you have, for example, I can't.
The thing is as well.
Hoi 4 or EU4 music in the background. I would need to actually check to see if it's a public license or not. I know Sabaton, one of the bands in EU4's playlist, is not public license. But I don't. But I'll need to see if they actually allow it. It's quite popular.
Yeah, but one of the things as well.
Thank you very much for the subscription, Jedi. I appreciate it. Apologies that alerts are all off just now because of the podcast, but thank you very much, man. It's really appreciated.
Yeah. Like, see, even like we're talking about that, I know like they brought all this whole DMCA stuff in. Fortnite just released vehicles that play real-time music at that point. They actually have the likes of your radio stations, everything tuned into the game now. And if you're going to take that, you need to switch them off.
The Epic are now going along the lines of basically not giving a fuck. They stood up to Apple, and we'll see what else they do now, because they're basically the anti-gaming company. People don't like Epic Games, but they're
taking the stand. They're taking the stand.
They're doing what they can, and I'm not gonna lie, I kind of support it. I know that might get me shot down in flames somewhere. I'm cool with that, but I do support what they're trying to do. I do support the. I support free games as well. To be fair, like
we all support free games. Let's be honest.
I know, but I think in time things will kind of move that way.
Yeah, it's weird that like the way that they're actually pushing all this DMCA stuff. It's like what you're needing right now is somebody like Epic who have stood up and said basically F yous, I'm no going to listen to you. It's the same, like this thing really annoys me. Like I absolutely love the game Doom. I've loved them for the first start of the series and everything.
Yeah.
But this new one with Doom Eternal, the soundtrack in Doom Eternal is absolutely amazing. But what I've heard, there's supposedly 4 or 5 songs that they constantly plays in that soundtrack that are not a public license.
Yeah, I get you.
Which I don't agree with in a sense, because it's like, well, these people have specifically wrote this song for this game to be enjoyed and listened to, and for others to do the exact same.
But it might be the company that they work for or whatever owns that license.
Yeah, and it's in a sense like that, it's just a sheer case of what's going to end up happening is, and I can see it happening in a couple of, say about the next couple of months or whatever, is games like that. I can see them releasing big updates to remove these songs for free music for everybody.
Yeah, I think you're right, to be fair.
And then it kind of takes away from the artists who created the music. It's like, you've made this banging soundtrack for this song, you made this banging soundtrack for this game, but because of your company, we can't use it anymore.
Like I would say, for example, the like if you're playing any Elder Scrolls game, if you're playing Skyrim, if you're playing Oblivion, you're playing any kind of big RPG. The music is what makes that game. It's the music that makes the game and allows people to basically become engrossed in the actual scenario itself. And like with that, I mean, imagine playing Skyrim without the music.
I know.
Imagine like playing for me, playing Oblivion without the music. Like I can right now hear the opening theme music to that game. It's so burned into my system that I know that
it's
music.
The same, mate, like the one that's for me is burned into my head is at Doom's Gate.
Yeah.
The original soundtrack from Doom, the opening sound from Doom.
Yeah.
Is called At Doom's Gate, and that is burned into my head, and I'm almost 100% certain that that's one of the tunes. Like that's the official theme tune of Doom, and that's one of the ones it's basically not a public licensed.
It probably will. No, it probably won't be, man.
It passes off information of the songwriters so people who can stream. That's one thing as well, that is good, but the problem with it being, mate, is like if all this DMCA stuff is going to kick in the way that they're saying, it doesn't matter if you give credit to that artist. I.e., for example, I'll listen to say Eminem and I'll go, "Oh, it's a song by Eminem," or "This is a great tune by Eminem."
But it might be those songwriters are doing it royalty free. That could be what Jedi's meaning.
Could be stuff like that.
And that would be.
Well, it could be, yeah.
I mean, to be fair, so you're not listening to the same royalty free music. I'd listen to like a couple of hours worth of pirate music while I'm playing a game. I don't care. It's something different. I was trying last night's stream.
It's some of the same stuff for me. Like there's music now that I listen to that I would never listen to before. It's like, alright, I've never listened to this before, and now I'm listening to it, and it's quite enjoyable. Like I have got a free playlist downloaded, and one of the songs on it, funnily enough, is called Gizmo.
That's suitably fitting, Casey.
But it's literally it's the tune you hear all the time. See the one it's like in every YouTube video, every video you find on Facebook, and that is like the ones that are like this nice, soothing, relaxing tune. It's actually I play it now when I'm opening up a stream. It's like the opening up to my streams now, just because of how soothing and relaxing it is. Nothing to do with the fact that it says Gizmo, but
the mine is like I'm the same in the sense of it's either synthwave or I think it's EDM.
And that's my pop.
I play through from Harris Heller on Spotify, and the 2 songs on that I class as my stream opening. That's just the way it is. I'm going to try and find, believe it or not, I'm going to try and find like a couple of different like royalty free style playlists that will just kind of tide me over for the kind of foreseeable. That's really all you can do to protect yourself. I mean, there is only so much that you can do just to to dodge how bad things are actually. I mean, to be fair, I joined Twitch and things seemed pretty easy, straightforward. It's getting harder. When you joined, it was probably easier again. So I don't know. It's like I don't think you can.
When I first joined Twitch, mate, if you became an affiliate, you got one sub emote. That's how far back it was with me. You got one sub emote. You had no way unlocking any more unless you became a partner. But you were only one sub emote and badges.
Aye, well, that's fair. But like I'm meaning like back then it was still you could probably class it as like the Wild West. That's what that's what I'm meaning. Like that kind of thing.
Hugely. Like there was just best way to explain it. There was nothing that you could really do. It was all give and take.
Aye, I mean, certain streamers have fed alcohol to animals among on Twitch and got away with it, but I don't want to go down that rabbit hole because I think everyone's beat that horse to death at some point.
Mate, the stuff in that first happened when Twitch came about was unbelievable.
Yeah, I know, and that's the thing.
Yeah, Jedi. To be honest with you, mate, like that's another one you can talk about is the whole doc situation when it's came out, all the way Twitch have been acting. But again, it's sometimes you need to look at it in a bigger perspective and stuff. Like nobody knows the full reason why. Doc will never release the full reason behind it. Why? Because it might affect his brand. That's the thing.
Yeah,
it might affect his brand and everything. But the one thing that I don't agree with is what's happened. That a lot of people have turned around and said that, like, if you want it in this sense, all your signed streamers have basically got it written in their contract that they cannot collaborate with outside of Twitch now.
And that's basically they're trying to lock in their talent. So basically, like for example, people
it's
make
not
it.
even about the lock in of their talent. Alright, see, everybody who's got these exclusive deals, i.e., you're exclusively signed to Twitch, you're exclusively signed to YouTube. The exclusiveness of it is streaming. You can still make videos and put them up on YouTube. There is no way they can stop you for doing that because, again, that's another earner.
Yeah.
And look at this another tangible thing away. But it's one of those ones like they can't stop you from doing that. Your exclusive deals are to be exclusively streaming on that platform.
Yeah.
Like,
but you're allowed to. You should be allowed to collaborate. That's the thing. Like, but
yeah,
what?
But supposedly the way they've done it, some of them have done it. You cannot collaborate with anybody outside during your stream. See, if you're streaming, you cannot collaborate.
I understand that. Right, I can kind of understand that because see the way they've worded it.
It was first all right. It was first all right when it first started and everything because you still had like say like Ninja playing with a couple of the guys he used to play with and that. But then all of a sudden, Ninja's playing with guys who are on Mixer, and the guys he played with on YouTube are playing. On YouTube are now playing with people on YouTube and vice versa and everything like that. A lot of them do not play with the people they used to play with. Now it could just be they found new people to play with. The schedules don't match up and everything like that. But
it'll be. I'm not gonna lie. It'll be whatever company's got a say in who they play with. And that's the thing is, I understand, for example, the Twitch side of things. Like if you're streaming on Twitch, you can't stream anywhere else. But other times, for example, like you could upload a video to YouTube like that he's done and things like that. That could be done. That would be fair. But
like at the end of the day, you can't, like for brand wise and everything. As much as you sign deals and stuff, you cannot make people focus on. All right, we're now Twitch. You can only put videos with us. You can only stream with us. Okay, then if Twitch wanted to do something like that, open up a video sharing platform as well, the same way YouTube have. Yeah,
that makes sense. That's a very fair point there. Like thing is, like,
on my lap again.
you're getting like obviously the worst side of Twitch, but you've got things there that within Twitch itself and what kind of basically the kind of building blocks of Twitch, which are like your orgs, for example, and the kind of worst sides of them. Like this is more something. The thing is
as well. See, if you're a member of one of the big orgs in a sense, like say we'll just start using them again since it's actually been announced as well. But the likes of your Optics, your Phases, Cloud9s, Rise Nations. I don't even know if Rise is still about. It's just one of the ones I remember.
Showing your age there, mate.
Hi. Immortal Gaming, stuff like that. If you're a member of the big ones, as soon as you join them, you automatically get a partnership regardless of your viewer base.
Because your viewer
You
base is
automatic-
going to go up because of being
Yeah,
with
but
them.
the thing is, you skip everything. You could just be starting off as a content creator, for example, but you're a big YouTuber, and all right, so you've got so many millions of views, but you're just starting off now on the YouTube side.
Yeah.
The Twitch side. It's the minute if you had the same one of these big odds, the minute you hit live on that Twitch, or you're going over to Twitch, you're basically going to say your org, I want to start streaming on Twitch. They start making all the phone calls and everything. The next
And
thing
then
you know,
next
you're
thing
a
you're
partner.
partner. So you can, but it's so the org
You skip-
itself can make whatever money off of you
Aye,
and
you're
make
skip-
the best deal.
Yeah, but that's what I'm saying. Like, you skip absolutely everything, like all the hard work and all the grinding that most people have done. You skip all of that.
Yeah, that makes sense. I guess, but that's
Again, this is just going into somewhere different again, and this is going to
Well, no,
another
it
spiral.
kind of relates into our kind of middle topic about like the worst of orgs. In the sense of it kind of where like orgs can. Well, I'll start with the kind of the bigger thing anyway. But for example, orgs, if you sign to them, you're contracted in whatever money that you make, and in a sense
They
they
can
make
sign
and
in their
stuff.
percentage.
Yeah, that kind of stuff. But
the thing is, as well, like most of your bigger orgs and everything like that, if they sign you in, and any sponsorship deals and stuff like that they can get, you get a percentage, and they get a percentage. But
yeah,
you need to basically, if you want, follow the rules.
Yep.
Like, if they want you to go and do meet and greets, you need to be there for the meet and greets. If you want to go to these events because it's, if you want, it's your game of choice that you stream all the time, the org might want you to be at these events and stuff. When it comes down to the likes of your Twitch and your YouTube and stuff like that, that's your personal brand.
yeah,
Even though like some orgs do sign it into their contracts and that okay, by the way, we're taking 5%, we're taking 10% after what you make through this because our branding is on it.
yeah.
So you're
That's
having
fair.
stuff like that. But a lot of orgs nowadays don't do that. It's like, we'll give you the platform to push your brand, but it's up to you to do it.
Yeah.
In a sense.
And well, that's the thing is like that was the big kind of Tfue argument, wasn't it? Where it was.
Yeah, that was one of the big Tfue problems, but I've still never heard how that's been resolved.
I don't think it has been, or there's. I think there's still issues, or it was judged that someone lost it. Like I think he lost, but he was still trying to fight it. But it's kind of faded away because he just streams on Twitch and does his own thing and stuff.
Yeah.
But
I know the whole argument about it was he wanted it to FaZe Clan contract. I know that was like the big main argument, but instead of going to speak to the guys about it, he went down this other path, which to me was stupid because
yeah,
if you hear like what everyone else is talking about and that about it, it's like, why would you want to like, if you want, tarnish ties with things like that?
yeah. Because I mean, to be fair, right, I can imagine it would be pretty stressful in an org, like at that size anyway. But the issue is as well
you're
is
going to go away. Sorry to interrupt you as well, because I'm sorry to say I do know a wee bit more about this side.
I know you do.
No, but one of the things as well that is always said about me, like a lot of them will turn around and go, for example, they asked me to go to this signing. Basically, I'm away for 3 days, and during that 3 days, I might have lost X amount of money.
Yeah.
But what the org gets after all the sponsorships and you're going to do these things, you might not get as much as you would have made, but what's the word I'm looking for?
The exposure's better.
No, it's not the exposure, because you still get paid. You still get paid after the org pay you to do these things, but
yeah,
as I say, you might compensate. That's the word. The org compensates the money. Like, they compensate the money loss.
It's making connections as well. It's
Yeah.
it's old school networking, but like at the level where it works, kind of thing.
Well, here's one for you. Take Hitch. You know who Hitch is?
Yes, I know the name.
All right, it's a guy who used to do all the videography for Optic Gaming.
Yes, I know.
Okay. That's how he got his start in Optic. He literally just went to all these different events, and he was doing his own thing at the time, taking pictures, doing interviews, blah, 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 blah. Then all of a sudden, he got the offer to do the video stuff for Optic.
Yeah.
He went and did some video stuff for Optic, but he was doing this like free at the time.
Yeah.
Then he got an offer to go work with this company.
Yep.
And when he went and worked with this company, he was making a wee bit of money. And then that's when Optic kind of, if you want, blew up. And he was offered the position of then videographer and everything else that came with it as a paid role. And that's how he ended up getting to where he was. And now, if you look at him now, he's basically doing his own streaming thing with his team, which is Team Summertime.
Yeah, I mean that's it, man.
And
It's how
they're
how
now
it starts that way.
they've got like an Elgato deal and everything now and stuff like that as well. So it is exactly what you're doing. And yeah, they are part of Optic as well again because of this whole thing with Optic. Is
Yeah.
now back in Hex's hands, which I find is amazing because in the day it's the guy's baby.
Aye,
It
that's
was
it,
the
man.
guy's baby.
That's it.
I welcome in.
You want them to. You'd want them to basically be part of like what it is, but like obviously we've kind of went down the kind of good sides of orgs and what they kind of do. Like we've noticed over the last kind of couple of months in certain instances, and I think I did mention it in Grav's interview when he was pushing for hype, but it wasn't as bad. It's more just the kind of exposure you get from it.
Like
but it's
the way you went down it with the whole thing with hype unit and everything. It was mainly the fact of the matter is, hype unit did this whole recruitment challenge and everything, and yeah, they got to pick and choose who they wanted in through numerous things. Like I don't know how they worked out their own formula and stuff, but out of all of that, they got free exposure.
Yeah,
as you
exactly.
mentioned, it was free exposure off of how the X amount of people who applied to do this, and that X amount of people has took all that what they're doing to their communities. That their communities are asking, and people in their community they're asking people and so on and so forth. So if you want it in a sense, it's the same way as working like doing a deck of cards in a way. If you want, like if you build a house of cards, the minute you've informed one person and you take them out the picture, everyone else gets to see what it is, and it's basically like a domino effect.
Yeah, and that's the same way. Like for example, what's going on with Stally, or FaZe, like Stallion, Call of Duty streamer.
Yeah.
He's pushing for FaZe just now, and
yeah, he's doing the Phase 5 challenge.
Yeah, and it's basically.
Good luck to the guy as well. Anybody who wants to check out Stallion, great man. I'll put it forward. I've spoken to him a couple of times. He's a fantastic guy.
Yeah.
Everybody wants to check him out. It's the usual, Twitch.tv, Stallion.
Check him out.
He's one of the nicest guys you'll ever meet. So easy to talk to, so down to earth. And unlike most people who become partner streamers or whatever, he doesn't forget where he came from. He hasn't forgotten his roots.
Yeah. But he's like, again, he's putting in a lot of work, and his tweets get a lot of impressions. And he's only one of however many people that are going for it. I don't know where he actually.
It's down to the top 100 now.
I know, but I mean, like before that, it could have been anyone that was going for it.
Oh, it was well into hundreds, thousands of people who were doing it.
Yeah,
well
but say that top 1,000 were the ones that get 90% of the impressions, for example.
Yeah,
that's a lot for a company. Obviously, FaZe are massive already, but what we found is people actually get something out of joining Hype. People actually get something out of joining FaZe. That's the thing. Whereas, what we've noticed in the last wee while is certain orgs have had a kind of cannibalization effect where they do all this and they either recruit or they don't recruit, and when they've recruited they get shot at people early on, and it basically, after all that, it'll leave a bad taste in anyone's mouth that was part of it, but it's also definitely yeah, exactly that it's some orgs recruit, but they are recruiting to boost their own top people. That is exactly it. In a case of, you see everyone's kind of impressions.
The name of your man who just wrote that, I'm just going to say it is poetic.
It is
poetic.
He's good like that. But there is something to that, is that those at the top definitely skim from it. They must skim a fair amount off of it for the kind of.
If you really want to go down the rabbit hole, I could sit here and name at least 9 or 10 people who have done this. I will not name names at all, just for privacy reasons, because it is a kick in the balls if you start doing it and stuff. But I know people who have literally kicked out streamers from orgs just to bring in people it's in their community.
Yeah.
Literally, that's what it is. It's just for people who's part of their community. I also know orgs that brought in nothing but the one game guys. So, for example, if you want to go for it, there was got people there who play all sorts of games. They like say your Pokemon, your marbles, fighting games, shooting games, and stuff like that. But I know people who have done that and tried to keep if you want the variety of it all, so people get used to it.
Yep.
Used to seeing all these different games, and like, granted, it was quite big and everything, but I know people that have just brought in nothing but, if you want, Call of Duty players, nothing but Warzone players.
And
people who
it is
are
popular.
the same.
It is popular, but when you're an org that does one thing and you're not a true esports org, like, if you know what I mean, then I don't see that. Whereas if you can build round
The thing, mate,
Yep, on you
the
go.
thing, mate, is you cannot call yourself a variety streaming org.
Yes,
if
exactly.
You're bringing in one type of streamer.
Exactly. That's the
You
thing.
cannot do that. Like, I don't care. Like, you can turn around right now and say, "Oh, but we brought in variety of streamers." No, you haven't brought in a variety of streamers. You've brought in one genre of streamers.
Yeah, you've got a variety of different people, but they all stream the same game.
It's not even that. It's streaming the same genre.
Aye.
But I won't even put it into the same game. It's the same genre. Everybody you've brought into this now, they're streaming Call of Duty, they're streaming Apex, they're streaming Valorant.
Oh, right, got you.
Every one of those games.
It's shooters, aye.
FPSs. Every game is an FPS, but you call yourself a variety streaming platform. I'm sorry, but if you're going to be a variety streaming platform, you cannot focus on that. If you want to have shooters, call yourself an FPS platform. If you want to have big strategy gamers, call yourself a strategy platform. Like, there you go. One of the biggest orgs that I can tell you right now is UIU. UIU for years turned around and called themselves a fighting game organisation.
Yeah.
That's all they were. They were a fighting game organisation. Over the last 2 to 3 years there, they started bringing in shooter games. They've got a Gears of War team. They had a COD team before the whole, what's it called? The whole, I can't even remember what that's called now.
I don't know.
Basically, when they turn it into branch it into the cities and everything. Oh, what is that called?
I don't know.
We all know what I'm talking about anyway.
But
the thing about it is, though, you're like, say for example, and this one it does irritate my skin. It doesn't really get to me. If you yourself are in a big position, i.e., you are a recruitment manager, for example, if you're in charge of recruitment or if you're head of content or stuff like that, doesn't matter what happens, you always need to handle yourself professionally. For example, if Reece here was, say, head of content, and he had about 9 people walk in the same way, like, Pricey, I'm sorry to bring you into this, pal, but I'm going to use you. Like the way Pricey and Cole were shouting, riot, riot, and basically taking over the chat.
Yeah.
Reece could have literally turned around and went after his head, banned yous all, called his every name under the sun, this, that, and the next thing. And how does that reflect on the org you're representing? Because to me now, it's like, I don't want to be part of that because this man can't keep himself in a professional limelight.
Yeah, exactly.
Do you get what I mean? Whereas if you're nice and you're calm, your tweets are always going to be professional. You're never jumping down somebody's throat. Having banter is, like, I'm not saying this, I'm putting this forward. Having banter is, if nobody knows what really banter is, because I think it is more of a Scottish term, isn't it?
Yeah, it kind of is, but you get a bit of banter. I think people understand it more now. But banter is just a bit of back and forth, having a laugh.
Yeah.
And there's no.
As long as you and the streamer are in at the same time, that's banter basically. So throwing things back and forth. Like when I'm in Reese's chat, I'll call him names, he calls me them back, but that's just the friendship that me and him have. That's the way our friendship is.
He's my mod for a reason, so I can't ban him.
The way I've always said it is your mods unless they insult you.
That's it. But like Poetics hit the nail right in the head here. I'll say this. He says one of his favourite streamers, the leader of his team, uses his larger team members to boost himself. Biggest failing in the game publishers themselves, instead of boosting the quality streamers of their game, they just boost the big ones, and even it isn't always a good image for the game.
Well, see something poetic, something I'll bring forward as well right now, and this is the one thing that I will stand by. For years I always played nothing but Call of Duty Zombies, and granted that's going back again to a big game title, but Call of Duty Zombies for most people gets stale very, very quickly.
Yep, I get that.
Okay. See, tomorrow is the launch day for basically the world Call of Duty for Cold War, a lot of people have already got it and played it and stuff like that because it's literally got a time zone release date going across the screen. It's like, don't do that. Wait to the furthest country, so whoever's going to get it last, and release it their time. That way everybody gets a worldwide release at once. Or just choose a time schedule and release it then.
Yeah, that makes
That's
sense.
the way that that's the way I've always said it. But see, tomorrow when this all kicks off and everything happens, I'll put it forward like this. For the zombie side of it all, you'll see over tens of thousands of streamers streaming this zombie game. Okay?
Yeah.
They will stream this, and a lot of the big names as well will stream this. The minute they get bored, they'll go away, and then you'll have the diehards still sitting there, still playing, still streaming, honing the skills, doing what they want, but they'll stagnate in their numbers. They'll barely move in their numbers.
And what they'll do is when the new DLC comes out, it'll get shipped to the big
streamers
ones.
will come back.
Yep.
All the big streamers will come back again, whereas your backbone is standing there, keep everything going, who, if you want, are the face of your game, who've been there through thick and thin, everything like that.
Not many of them will get rewarded.
They're basically getting back in the back burner.
Yeah.
So for it, we'll go by your term of it anyway, Reece. Like after all that and everything dies down after the hype and that, you have all these streamers that all sit there and say your top zombie streamer at that point, because I'm just going to use the zombie side it, could be sitting, say, 20th in the viewing list. Because one thing I've noticed as well, Call of Duty, Twitch mainly have released now a Call of Duty Zombies section by itself. So that way you can split the gameplay. So you're going to have that with the split in it. Say for talk's sake, that person could be sitting, your top streamer or whatever, there is going to be, say, on average, she could be sitting about 20th when the game dies down, all of Call of Duty viewing. But the minute a DLC drops and there's a new map, what's going to happen? That guy who's sitting 20th is going to be back up to the tens of thousands, because the big names now are going to be, okay, let's jump on the view train. And a lot of people just go, okay, let's go and watch the big streamers because he's playing it.
Aye, and that's it. And
like, one of the best ones I can point out, I'm not going to name the streamer, but the game's Tekken 7. Tekken 7 averages anywhere between 1,000 to 5,000 concurrent viewers across the platform.
Yep.
Poppy, stop trying to steal my juice. Dog's trying to steal my can. So you have that. There was a streamer who is a very, very big streamer who then decided, okay, I'm going to go and play this game just for the day. He went into it and got his ass kicked every single bloody game. But yet he's sitting there still up at 20 to 30,000 people.
I remember you telling me this.
To me, that is very unfair to all these guys who are putting out all the hard work day in, day out, week after week, who are trying to keep this game, the game they love, afloat. And then you get that one streamer who walks in, brings a shitload of viewers, plays the game, and then instead of going, okay, let's go and raid one of these smaller guys because they're doing this all the time, they either go and raid their friends who are playing a different game, or they shut their stream off.
That's it. That's the thing, is that Poetic has got it right. Like
you're right. Too many sheep. There is too many sheep.
And that
I was the same. I'll admit it. A couple of years back, I was the same. I watched all the big streamers. My favourite streamer still right now is Shroud. I love watching Shroud. But I love Shroud's gameplay. I don't find him entertaining.
Yeah,
it doesn't. I don't find him entertaining, but I love his gameplay.
Like, for me, I don't actually follow any of the big names. I couldn't really name many big names on Twitch. I the people that have got like the maximum amount of views in my follow list. I think it's believe it or not, I think it's actually Stally. And obviously he has maybe about 300 to 500, depending on the day. Yeah, and Poetic's got it right. When he was in Liquid's chat, he was just vibing with all of us. And he didn't even have the sound on. He was just in having a bit of chat in general. But that's the thing is with them, the orgs.
The thing that annoys me. The thing that annoys me, right, and I'll put it forward. The smaller orgs, the ones who I'm going to put it forward, they cannot hold you to anything. It's the best way of saying it. They cannot hold you physically. It's like, okay, welcome in, you're part of this. We'll get you streaming, we'll get you set up with graphics, we'll do this, we'll do that. They cannot turn on you and say, okay, oh, by the way, you better start streaming there. No, it's not how it works.
No, because you're not getting paid. You're not getting sponsorships.
You're not paid. You're not paying me to stream. I'm here now. I am the face of your brand. So if you want me to stream, be nice to me.
Yeah.
Because if I don't stream, your brand isn't out there.
I believe
That's
that
the
there
best
should
way
be
of
a bit
saying it.
of give and take in that sense. Like there should be
There is give and take. There is give and take in it, mate. But it's the whole fact of the matter is, and this is me talking from past experiences, is literally being booted from an org because I couldn't stream. My internet was playing bad up at the time, and on top of that, I recently went back to my work, which I work night shift. So anybody who works night shift or has worked a night shift will know the first 3 weeks of getting back at a night shift routine after being off for almost 2 months is torture. Your body's tired. All you want to do is sleep because you have no, if you want, schedule for yourself. Your body's not in a pattern anymore.
Yeah, your body's like messed up from it.
Yeah, whereas now, a couple hours sleep, I feel brand new.
This thing is Poetic saying he works third shift, which I believe is the same as night shift. Yeah, there we are. And it's a case of 8 of his 10 hours of the shift's dead. And he basically follows people for the same reason. He uses basically Twitch to keep himself entertained, which I support. Sprint, best part of it is just following along and seeing if anything makes sense, mate. That's generally how these podcasts go. Not quite about work. We're talking about orgs on Twitch, and how organisations, like, so for example,
if we want to put it in a nutshell here, is it Sprint? If we want to put it in a nutshell, mate, this year was made up mainly for me to be able to finally rant. I've had so much bad past experiences, and I've had some that have been really recent. We spoke about this, and I said point blank that I want to get a lot off my chest, so it allows me to do it through this podcast, i.e. ScotsRant. Only thing I will not do is bring names or anything into it, because regardless of what it is, I still have a lot of time and a lot of love for a lot of these orgs I've ever been part of. But it's certain individuals who have, if you want, and I'm just going to use it, who have pissed me off to the limit. Whereas one of them I actually threatened. And I'm going to pull that out there. I did threaten the person.
Let's not like, you know.
It's not criminalisation. The criminalisation, I'm not saying that I turned around and said, I'll get in you type situation. I never done that. Oh, look at that. I have a few bots.
I got them.
No, thank you. Do I want to be famous? I think I'm already famous.
My answer to it is yes, I want to be famous, but I'd rather have the money, if you don't mind, from those bots in your channel. But like, yeah, like, the thing is, I think it's going to be quite cathartic for you to talk about these things, because I find these podcasts quite cathartic. I like to. I don't think that we rant in the sense that you think we thought we were going to. We're actually really quite. We're quite fair. We speak quite fairly about everything, and we try and argue both sides, which we didn't think we would do. We thought we would just go to shit.
One-sided.
But to be honest, like, we each kind of try and take a side, or we both argue a point.
I'm gonna go forward right here as well. I was speaking to a friend today, and they were telling me about somebody in their org. Okay.
Yeah.
Who has turned around, and this is what I'm talking about, being in positions of power. They've got the same position of head of content.
Yep.
And they literally turned around and said that there shouldn't be any excuse for anything. If you have a goal, you should be able to get to it. No excuses as long as you put the time and effort in. The argument back that was given was plain and simple. You do nothing. You do not work. You do not have any worries. You don't have any responsibilities. Whereas somebody like myself, I've got a job.
Yep.
I've got a house to pay for. I've got car payments to do. I've got a child to make sure I'll spend time with. So you tell me right now, all this stuff I need to make sure is coming. How am I going to put all this time and effort into something I barely make any money off of?
Yeah, that's it, man. And I get that. And you're left in this kind of lurch where
you rang.
Yeah, you've got kind of you're left thinking to yourself, right? Is there more I can do on this side? No, because if I start doing more on the Twitch side, you burn yourself out, and then
see. The way I've always looked at it is, if you ever made myself something on Twitch, I know for a fact it would be through the one game, but that's why for me I tried to make it the one game type, i.e. I want to do something, if you want, with zombies because I like all zombie games. Zombie games to me are fun because there's so many different ways you can play them. You got the likes of 7 Days to Die, which is like a Minecrafty style. Me and you used to play it all the time.
Yeah, I know.
You got Call of Duty Zombies, nothing but pure survival. You got World War Z, again, it was nothing but pure survival, but in a different twist, having the third person view and stuff. You had Zombie Army. Zombie Army, I absolutely loved, and I loved everything they brought into it.
Yeah.
Basically, you had to be smart, be intelligent, everything like that. But it's, as I've explained to these, is plenty of times, this day and age, you can barely build a community unless you have a core community, i.e., like Reece has a great core community. Everybody I've ever seen in Reece's chat have been absolutely brilliant. Everybody.
Thank you.
Absolutely everybody.
Very much for the subscription there, Poetic.
I enjoy it.
Really appreciated. Yeah, I'm not gonna lie, I do.
I agree. See, there you go. Even Joey from my chat has turned around and said that he completely agrees the burnout that you get is crazy.
Yeah.
The burnout that you get for it. But my problem being is it's not even a problem. Like the way I've always looked at things is when you get into the nitty gritty, absolutely everything, and a lot of people say the same thing. For your battle royale games have a meta. Regardless of what you do, it has a meta. Like Warzone, drop in, get some money, get your loadout, try to win the game. That's the meta. Apex, drop in, get the best weapons at that time that are meta, which right now, for some reason, is your R99 and a sniper rifle or a wingman. Get your best armor, get kills, win the game. Fortnite, wood, weapons, win the game. Whereas I can say the same for if you want for like zombies or whatever. Whereas you can get the best weapon, i.e., get the best assault rifle or the best point making gun.
Yeah.
Plus the wonder weapon of it. On top of that, again, you can stuff it. I don't want to go for high rounds. Let's go and get the Easter egg. See what happens.
Yeah. And that's
challenge yourself. Okay, I'm in this area. First room challenge. See how long I can survive for.
That's what it is. And like as you're saying, it's all about how like the kind of community you have, and like you're rightfully saying, I'm really quite fortunate to have kind of such a kind of good community as a small streamer that they turn up support me, such as like Poetic, Sprint just showing up in the chat and things like that.
Yeah. My first game I ever got, well, I'll put it forward this way. The game I got my affiliation on, you've played it with me, is a game called Cuisine Royale.
Yeah.
Everybody in the chat right now, who can hold their hands up right now and say they have played or even heard of Cuisine Royale? Anybody? Can anybody actually hold their hands up and say, I know that game?
To be honest, I've only played it maybe twice with you. Poetic has heard of it.
That's good.
To be fair, I would have thought that out of it, most people in my chat, probably Poetic, would have, for the amount of time that he spends on Twitch. From what I've literally just learned from him tonight, is
there you go.
And Joey D hasn't had it, and
no.
Yeah.
You Sprint, have you heard of it? Joey, I'll even put it forward to you, mate, because I know you stream for PS4. You can download this game. It's a PS4 and PC only game, but you can download it. It's a free download. Alright, that's where I got my affiliation on Twitch. I streamed that game constantly, and it was before they started. This was the thing, though. The same way as like your strategy games and everything, this game was niche. This was for people who loved it because it was nothing but a piss take.
Yeah.
That's all the game was invented for, was to be a piss take. I mean, your armor at the time was pots and pans.
Is it not a piss take PUBG?
It was invented as a piss take of PUBG. And all it was is pots and pans as armor. You had World War One and World War II guns. And honestly, anytime you ran about, it used to click and clang and stuff like that. Like, it came to a point you had to, if you wanted to have the best armor, you were making the most noise. So you chose the crappier armor in a sense, so you made less noise.
I think that's fair. I understand that. But
so it's honestly, it was one of my favourite games until they started adding in all of these new stuffs. Like, you can get tier 3 armor, which is like a vest and all of that. And it's like, to me, that's not what that game was.
It's taking out the fun of the game, to be fair.
It took out the complete fun of the game for me. And I think that's what burnt me out on it, was the whole that whole part of it. Like, I used to play it all the time, and I still play it every now and then with Grav, but it's just not as fun as it used to
It's
be.
not the same game.
'Cause,
That's what it is, isn't it?
well, they've tried to rival other games. Instead of being the way they were, the small community and everything like that, and let it build, they tried to rival all the bigger games.
Yeah, they sold out in
best way
that
to
in
do
that
it.
sense. They didn't sell out, but they sold out to basically try and match these games and have they lost their gimmick. They lost
Yeah.
basically the heart of the game in that sense.
That's literally it, mate. They lost what made that game itself. That's what they lost. What made that game fun is what they lost. And that's one thing it does hurt with your smaller games to me. Like, that community for Cuisine Royale was very, very tight. Every player knew everybody. I mean, I've still got people on my friends list that I used to play with ages ago, and not one person plays with it anymore.
Yeah,
But
that's
you used to go into a game, and this just shows you how small the community was for this game. There must have only been about 2, maybe 3 lobbies going at the one time, because you go into a lobby, you kill like 2 people or whatever, or kill the team, then you die yourself. You go into the next one and you run into the same team again,
yeah, that makes sense.
and you've just killed them like long before you've been at it, but you've bumped back into them again because of how small the community was.
And that's it. You would find that, and you find that
The only other
on you go.
The only other problem now is because the game's that small, it is rife with cheaters now, and the cheating system they use just don't care, because the cheating system that they use is the same one for Fortnite and Apex Legends, and they're going to focus more on the 2 big titles than this wee game. It's say got a player base of 500 people.
Yeah, and I'm gonna kind of say this because Poetics hit a point, and it's like he used to have a streamer that he helped build when they played PUBG, Apex, and was with them as they got big, and they were kind of like forgotten about. Like, that's something that I would say you not have had to that extent, but you do a lot of work in the background for people. You're one of those people that knows how Streamlabs OBS works, how to get people set up. Your work ethic and making sure that small streamers get into, like, you've done all that work for people, and like.
Are we talking about me that's done this work?
I'm talking about you. I'm talking about you that's done this, because I'm relating it from what Poetic has said, in the sense that you've done this work previously for people. You did it for me. You're the reason why I have a reasonable understanding about slobs. Can I
answer Price's question? Can I answer Price's question? Price, my game will always be the same. Zelda or Ocarina of Time, always going to be the same choice.
And mine's would probably be a remaster of Knights of the Old Republic, 1 or 2. I'd be happy with either or.
Knights of the Old Republic 1 has to be 1.
It's no,
it was decent, but
they're both really good games. But I'd take both. Like, if I had to. It's back.
I'll put it forward this way. I'm gonna change my answer slightly, because they did do a remaster of Zelda Ocarina of Time for the 3DS, but if they had to do it, I'm going to say it has to be the original N64 version. It has to be.
That makes sense.
You know something, Joey? I'm going to thank you for that, mate. That's one of the nicest things I've heard somebody say in a long time as well. But it is one of those things, mate. Like, as much as I enjoy streaming, I enjoy games and interactions and stuff like that, I'll admit the one thing that I enjoy more, and that's helping, if you want the littler guy, make sure they've got themselves sorted out, they've got people watching them, they get shout outs and stuff like that. Like, you can ask Reece about it as well. We used to have a wee small inner circle and stuff like that. I brought Reece into the inner circle with everybody that I knew, in a sense.
Yeah.
And literally, I showed them like what this inner circle could do for each other.
2 wee seconds. I've literally just been raided. So thank you very much, twice. Doggo. And thank you very much, Ghost, for the raid. I'm going to give them this. They deserve this. I'm going to go to my scene quickly, literally just so I can do my alert for them, because they do deserve it. They're good guys, and this is for you guys.
FBI, open up!
Oh, thank you very much for the raid, guys. Go back to my.
No, but What we'll do is as well, mate. Like, just let me know when you're ready to go again.
I'm back on. I just wanted to give them that because they. Thank you very much for the raid, guys. I appreciate it. Hope you enjoyed. I think it was Minecraft you were playing. Thanks very much, guys, for that.
So
it's
the one thing is, and Joy said it there. I did go in. I did help Joy. Joy at the time was playing a lot of Fortnite. Right?
Yep.
I'm not the biggest Fortnite fan, as you know, but
yeah.
I kind of mind how to be honest, Joey, I can't even mind how I started talking to you. I think I just bumped into you randomly on Twitter through one of the follow small streamers, help small streamer stuff, and I decided to go and check out his content and that. And it was the content itself was enjoyable to watch because at the time I'm pretty sure Joey he was playing with his nephews and stuff, so it was enjoyable to watch all of this. It was like if you want the old guards of gaming playing with the new school stuff. So it was interesting to watch it.
Yeah.
But
and
as I said, when I helped Joey out, like I helped him out with retweeting a couple of things, liking a couple of things, giving him a couple of shout outs. I think I've raided you twice, but I'm pretty sure it was during that time where Twitch never showed you the raids.
But that's it. It's like it's all about that kind of early support, and you'll find that like in certain orgs that support is abused because of.
If we want me to go right into the rant and side everything, unless you were part of an inner circle with your top man, because as I say, a lot of people that I know were in with your top man, part of his inner circle. You were nothing. You were forgotten about.
Yeah.
You were just this person. It was off to the side, and stuff that really irritated me was this person. As I say, I don't want to put names forward, but this person, I helped him. I did exactly what I did for the likes of Joey, for Reece. I done the exact same thing. I've helped him set. Mainly Reece's side because Joey, as I say, you stream from your PS4, but I've still gave you help. I even put Joey onto Mix as well for helping with sub badges and his emotes.
Yeah.
And again, Mix will sort you out, mate. As soon as you speak to us, she will get you fully sorted.
Because I've got
Reece is the same. Reece has got the same stuff.
Joey Mix did everything for me. And it's just I'm more than happy with it. I'll be honest.
Am I getting paid for modding for Reece?
No, you're not. But no, that's the thing is like. So thank you very much, Poetic. That's a really nice thing to say. I don't think I'll ever get that big that I'll become an ass hat. But I mean, if you ask Gizzy, I probably already am one. But
yeah, that's right. Me and Joey were talking more about fighting games than anything.
Aye. And that's the thing.
And then I kind of leaded to like, wee tips, hints, tricks, stuff like that to do. And one thing I remember was jumping into his stream anyway. The first thing I seen him do playing Fortnite.
Yeah.
And this is when it came through. Jump into the car and leave the radio on, and it started actually humming along to the tune. I'm like, Joey, DMCA stuff, mate. Can I play that?
Aye, it's one of those ones. And thank you very much for the raid again, Mr. Mash. I know. I think they're all from the same group of lads. So thank you very much, guys. But yeah, it's one of those things. Is we have our own, how as you put it, and I really like the way you said it, our own inner circle where we all work together. We make sure everybody gets what they kind of need, want, all those kind of things. But you find in orgs, and exactly what Poetic said earlier, is the person at the top skims and they eat away and
mate,
keep like
the one thing that I'll put forward right now as I was going into this whole topic about it, because like you were saying, they eat away, they say this, that. The top man that I have helped out, if you want, turned round, tried to pass everything that I taught him and somebody else taught him as his own ideas, tried to do the exact same thing that we did for other people, try to pass off our stuff that we have taught him. It's my idea type situation. I even know, and this is one thing that irritated me, is I know a lot of different streaming communities, part of quite a lot of them as well. And I know that he turned around and asked somebody to get, if you want, like you've wrote your A&B guidebook and everything.
Yeah.
And person that I know did the exact same thing, but it was to help. It was basically, it wasn't like the way you've done it. It was like a bullet point strategy type way of being able to help yourself grow. He wanted that person to get this because he wasn't allowed part of this just because he knew nobody in it, and the people who knew in it, none of them vouched for him.
Yeah, and that's the thing
he wanted
is
someday. you wanted somebody to copy this, bring it to him so he can pass it off as his own again.
Exactly.
And
And
what made it? You're right. You're right there, Poetic. I know a lot of streaming orgs, well, streaming communities that are like that as well. But I'm part of 4 streaming communities altogether, and 3 out of the 4 are actually very, very good. Like
yeah,
one of the ones that I really like, and I will name drop them right now, is Creators United. Creators United is one of the better streaming, if you want, better streaming communities that I've been part of, because instead of being the same way that is, they shout you out. They have something that they call the hype group, and to be a member of this hype group, if you put yourself forward as being live, like I never put anything into it when we're doing podcasts and that, just in case I badmouth them by mistake. But if you do that, you'll always get at least 3 members of that hype squad come in, even if they're there for 10 minutes, to show you support.
sanity
And it's
vibe
part
kind of thing.
It's part of the way they do it. Top of that, if you get some nice clips or whatever, clips that you find funny, good plays, stuff like that, they have a clip section, and every month they do the best clips of the month, and it's just a wee video compilation of everything they've done.
Yeah.
And I'll tell you how far back it goes for me with this, guys. A lot of people in both communities right now, my community and Reese's, you all know me as Gizzy the Gremlin.
Oh God.
Reece will be able to tell you my name beforehand, and this just shows you how far back this
Well,
goes.
I know. I remember one of them offhand, but you've had both. I think you had ones before that, but Recon.
Recon was my main one. Recon,
Yeah.
I was Recon for about 5 years.
And that's the thing is, like, for example, you go that far back on these kind of platforms, and like that's it. Is you were back when it was a lot more organic with these kind of orgs and things like that. Whereas, like that's your thing is you put your you put the effort in then, and obviously it pays off. You get the support. The thing is, though, you'll have obviously gave back to these people as well. You'll have supported them in your own way, and that's the main thing. Is actually going out and being supportive of people.
I made it a point when I was part any organisation I've ever been a part of, and I'll put forward before this as well, because a lot of people could turn around and say right now, because we're talking about orgs and stuff like that, like, oh, you can't badmouth these people that are high up, your head of content and stuff like that. You don't know how busy they are. You don't know this. You don't know that. I used to be head of content. I was a head of content as well, and my streaming career suffered majorly for it.
Yeah, no, I know.
That's why
because that was at the time when I was kind of starting out on Twitch.
No, you weren't starting out on Twitch at the time, but this was the time where we had this discussion about bringing you in and be part of an org.
That was it, exactly. Aye, because I knew at that point you had a lot going on, and I'll put this into perspective of my kind of views on it. Because Poetic says, I'm not direct, but if people come into my stream, make sure you get the shout out, which I have done. And I will support. Like, I've been in all these guys' streams. I'll be honest, Mr. Mash. Yeah, I've not been in your stream, but I've seen your name and I've chatted to you in either Ghosts or Doggos. And I will I'll obviously make sure that I take time to chat to the people. I think. And Gizzy does stream. He is also live. Let me just bring this up for us. But yeah, let's go for that. But yeah, so for example, we've been we're very supportive of the things, because we're what's classed as small streamers. That's the thing, is we know where the kind of scenario is for these kind of things.
Like, they're a piece of garbage.
We still get
thanks a lot, go.
You can get a little someone. Yeah, bastard.
Yeah, I just have the sound effects on that, like that's that pops up.
Yeah.
Thanks a lot, guys, for the follows. Like, the one thing I've always turned around and say, like, I'll put forward to these now, the boys that I've just followed. Me and Reece are, if you want, two sides of the same coin type situation. Both of us like to meme everything we play. Both of us have almost the same look in. The only difference between me and him, basically, if you want,
is I throw stuff like this into play.
I get to have a laugh, and if I'm really feeling like a good laugh, I can turn everything into a PG stream.
Yeah, but like
it's
more the sense of, like, we've been where certain, like, I mean, Yous actually says me and, like, for example, Liquid and Gizzy, we're maybe classed as a kind of bigger streamer. We're not big. Gizzy's double the size of me, and you don't class yourself as a big streamer. That's the thing.
I'm far from being a big streamer.
We
My average, I took a hiatus off of streaming. Like I say, I used to run a head of content for 2 separate orgs, and I took a very, very heavy hiatus. At that point, I was at my peak playing zombies. I think at that point, I was averaging between 30 40 people at that time. That's why, if you look at me when I stream now, I'm back down to averaging between, say, 3 to 10 people nowadays. But me at my peak, I was between, go for it, 30 to 50 people at my peak. And honestly, I'll put one thing forward to it. Like I say, I'm the one person right now, like Reece, I brought Reece into the streaming world. Right? Me and Reece are real life friends, and I did bring him right into the streaming world. And it was just due to the fact of the matter is at that time, I needed a friend who knew exactly what was happening, what I was going through and stuff. And that's what he came into play, and it was so much easier to talk to him about the problems behind it all.
Yeah, and like
I got
I know
something, doggo. I'm going to be honest about that, doggo. I've felt the exact same way. I remember getting my first ever follow, and honestly, if I could do it, I would have done a backflip.
I was at like I'm still happy when I get average 3 viewers. I'm like, yes, we're doing it, boys. We're making it big.
Yeah, that's all pricey. But this will just go to show you a lot of things. Like when you're in the kind of communities and stuff like for people who are streaming and that, see when you start to get yourself into communities. This was one subject that I did say to Reece I wanted to bring up as well. Your whole solo streaming, i.e., somebody like myself, I'll stream zombies and play by myself, and that gives me a chance to like pause the game every now and then to talk to the chat or whatever. Versus if you squad stream like Reece Wee's multiplayer games.
Yeah. Like we can.
How do you both define a big streamer? What factors just separate small streamers from big streamers? Mate, the thing that I would say about that for your factors behind it, all right, a lot of people who say a big streamer, for example, to me, if you're a big streamer, you have over 500 followers. That to me is the minute you start hitting as a big streamer. Your averages will always fluctuate unless you can get up to the hundreds of thousands of followers. Your averages will always fluctuate. On top of that, again, I know a lot of partner streamers, and some of them are very good friends and stuff, but for your smaller streamers, I'll put it this way, your smaller streamers, I'll average up to 20 viewers, if you want to put it in this sense. Small streamers to me, I'll average 20 viewers. So for those people like that, the way I've always worked things out is you've got your 5 viewer cushion each side. So if you want to raid somebody, basically, raid a small streamer,
yep,
help the person out, and that's fantastic. I've been raided after people with 30, 40 viewers and stuff like that when I've only had one at the times, and I've always been thankful. If you raid me with one viewer, trust me, you're going to get the shout out, you're going to get the works. I've kind of roll at the red carpet and everything for you.
Yeah, exactly. And that's the thing is, like, I wanted to at least let the guys get my raid notification so they knew that they deserved it, because they came into my stream and just came in to support, and that's the kind of, I appreciate that. That's the kind of big thing to me is
that's what you do want. You want people like that. You do want that. Like, a lot of people forget where they came from. See your big guys nowadays, a lot of them forget where they started, where they came from, the struggles that they had today. I've said this 1,001 times with a lot of big streamers. A lot of big streamers and that were in the right place, right times.
Exactly.
That's literally it. You were at the right place at the right time. Then you have people like, I'm going to use Stallion again because Stallion's a perfect example, who has worked his arse off. All right, Stallion has only been streaming for 2 years and he's already a partner streamer, averaging at 300 viewers a stream.
Yeah.
He has worked his arse off, content-wise, networking-wise, everything. And it just goes to show anybody can do it if you can put the time and the effort in. But
yeah, and
the points that we were trying to get was the cannibalization of your hierarchies, if you want, the hierarchy guys in the way the smaller community guys. And one of the biggest ones that I bring forward for it is view sharing. Okay. And for people who want to know what I mean by that, is a lot of people in organizations and that will bring in people from their community and stuff. And what they want to do is, all right, if I'm streaming and you're no, or I'm just about to start and you're finishing, raid me. So that way you've got the view sharing. What ends up happening is you'll stagnate your numbers. Like, stagnate your numbers is horrible in a sense, but you need to get your name out there. You need to be talkative. You need to be always communicating. And I'm not talking about just if you want, guys. Like, for people right now, all right, I'm going to guess a lot of your guys in your streams and everything all like strategy games.
As they do, but like they play a kind of mixed bag as well. But I think the
I'm just saying
majority,
though, like strategy game wise.
yeah,
Right.
they like Hoi 4, basically. That's the gist of it.
Yeah. Yeah, so for like all you guys basically as well, Joey Extension in my chat. Joey plays a lot of different games. I know the games Joey plays. I've seen him play a lot of different ones, and we still need to play Apex, by the way, Joey. Just putting it out there, man. We've just no had time. Basically, guys, for people who want to start growing their numbers and stuff, do not stagnate yourself on if you want networking with only the games you like, i.e., try to get in with a big streamer for Apex Legends or Call of Duty or whatever.
Because that doesn't work because you can't.
Choose the genres. Choose the genres, right? Like, a lot of people, for example, I absolutely love fighting games. Everyone knows this. I've never hidden the fact that I love my fighting games. I play a lot of them and I still play them to this day. I don't stream fighting games, but I love talking about them. And a lot of people who I know come in and out of my chat, they'll come in to talk to me about the fighting game, even though I could be playing something that's not even there. I could be playing bloody Euro Truck Simulator. You know, I'm this big fat guy driving a truck down the middle of a road. And a lot of people will still come in just to talk fighting games because
But that's the thing is, people are coming in not just for the game; they're coming in for the personality, and that's
what you're aiming for.
That's what you want in the kind of end result there. Whereas, like, I would like to think that people come in for the kind of mixed bag is for the crap gameplay and the personality from me.
Venom.
Oh god, imagine you're actually drinking Venom.
Not the good Venom.
I know, but like,
yeah, I've got the stuff just to make that, so don't tempt me.
Yeah, that's it. It's like Poetic's got it right. Is like he follows personality and not a game, but the game does start it, and that's what happens, and I believe that's the right way of going about it.
Yeah,
that's why
it starts everything.
That's why
it's the game that starts everything. Like I say, when I met Joey through both our mutual love of fighting games.
Yeah.
Right. Anybody who jumps in between Joey, the guy in my chat, Joey D8, I met him through a mutual love of fighting games, and we literally started talking through fighting games. And at the time, I think he was averaging maybe 1 or 2 viewers, and I came in, started talking, and I've seen his numbers rise, and it's because the guy talks about other things. His personality is brilliant. If you come in and give this guy a chance, his personality is brilliant. He's funny to talk to. He likes having back and forth banter between you. Slag off Fortnite, and he gives you some amount of banter back if you slag off Fortnite. Even though he turns around and admits it, I know.
Yeah.
He's a really, really nice guy to talk to. And guys, as I'm saying there, like I've noticed who is it there? Ghost Reaper said he streams with Doggo One. To be honest with you guys, me and Reece, like if you want it, we have no games similar in interest. Reece will no sit there and go his way to watch a fighting game. I'll no go in my way to watch a strategy game.
Early on you did for me to support me and help me. You did, and
it wasn't even that, mate. Like I jumped in to see this because you described it, and I'm just a big World War II nut at the time. That's what you were describing as World War II.
But like,
so
to be fair, like I'll sit and I'll vibe. I can probably sit and vibe to most games, but I can't, for example, play an FPS. That's my thing.
Yeah.
I can't sit and play Apex with you. I don't know why. Maybe it is because I'm shit at the game. I'll be honest. But like, for example, I'm happy to vibe in your chat and do all that kind of thing.
See, the best advice I can give anybody who's here in this chat, the best advice that I can give you that I have handed out to basically everyone, and Reece is my witness about it as well, is go into other streamers' chats and give yourself what I call the cushion. The cushion for me is that 0-20 range, okay? Go into the chats. If you feel you're a small streamer, go into the chats and vibe with the streamer and the rest of his chat. Do never mention that you're a streamer. It's the one biggest mistake that all streamers hate. I've seen myself ban people for coming in and go, oh, I stream, check me out. And I'm like, no, you don't come in here to announce yourself. You can come in, you can talk, and if the subject appears, then but 9 times out of 10 of, say, for example, like Pricey and Ghost used to have just recently followed me. If you used to follow me during an actual stream, I would welcome you in of the game I was playing. I'd say, oh, do you play this game and stuff? You just get in the subject. I might play it. Oh, no, I just enjoy watching it. And it'll be, oh, do you stream yourself? What games do you like playing? Or if you stream and stuff, I'll actually bring the subject up. That way you don't feel sitting there going, oh, I tell them like I do stream this and stuff, but I don't know how to get round about it. I'll just point blank ask.
So I put I had a conversation with a couple of the guys because, and it's just more the case about I don't like the self-advertisement when I'm in someone else's stream.
I hate it.
So not from their aspect, but from my aspect. So for example, a couple of guys would ask when I was streaming later, and I'll love to. That means I'm doing something right. Actually means I'm doing something right with my content. It's people are actually asking me what time I'm streaming, and it makes me want to stream more, which is a good thing. But I had to kind of make, and I think I could have worded it better to the guy, so I apologise for that. But I did say, look, when we're in, and it was, I'm happy to shout it out because this is the podcast. This is an open source platform for us to talk. But for example, we were in Liquid's chat, and people would ask when I was streaming, and because we play the same games, it was advertisement, and I understand that, and I would only be if Liquid shouted me out that I would be like, yeah, fair dues, because he's the streamer. But for me, I never want to take away from what other people are doing.
The attention of another streamer.
Yeah. But it's one of those things. It's a learning curve, and people that are new to Twitch. And it's a learning curve because like people who've not actually been told about it, it's not fair on them to get the ban hammer. And I'll say that as I'll make sure that people like I was kind of as fair as I could be about it. But
that's all you can be. All you can be is fair.
Yeah, and I'm more than happy to like return the support. And as I says, it's just a case of just jumping in Discord and messaging me and stuff, or not over Twitch itself. But it's once. See, the thing is, I think it's one of those kind of rules that I think
it's
should actually. Rule. Yeah, I think. Thank you very much for the follow, Joy. I appreciate it. I actually would think that it should actually be plastered somewhere on Twitch because it's not fair. Because I would think a lot of like small streamers would have been put off by actually streaming. That's the thing, but because people have told them off for self-advertising, and it's not a nice thing to be told off for. But
mate, I know I've seen big streamers literally turn around and lose their shit with people. I also know one streamer that turned around and says, "Ah, sure, I'll give you a shout out, 10 grand." And he was serious about it. It's literally in his rules. If you want a shout out, pay me 10 grand.
It's insane. Thank you for the bits, Ghost. I appreciate it, man.
But we kind of went off on a right good fucking. We went off.
We do that, mate.
Like hell.
But the thing is, it's very cathartic for us, William. It helps us get through these tough times and all
do
those.
Do you want to tell anybody else my real name?
What? Sorry.
Do you want to tell anybody else my real name?
Sorry, mate. I go between the two of them. I always do it. That's the thing is.
I've already told you. You can always go by my. You can always go by my proper name because you don't know.
I know, but I'll say one, and then we get this deep into a conversation. I just think we're at the pub, and I just say, "Aye, let's like that's us." 10 grand, what a waste! Wait.
So, around the bar.
Oh dear God! I just get shivers. They're lovely. Well, this is maybe for self-advertising. I'm a licensed psychologist for £150 an hour. I can help. And no, I don't take NHS.
Poetic, I'm going to be completely honest with you, mate. You do not want to get me into a psychiatric conversation.
Because
I will make you question life.
You'd get admitted. You'd be getting sectioned.
You'd be like the wee guy who what's it called? The wee guy who Family Guy when Joe Swanson got admitted into the mental institution, running up to people, your mother's a whore.
Yeah.
Running away.
And just to quickly say, Ghost, the commands are off because of the podcast itself. the sound commands are off anyway.
Swear to God, there's
But I would say if we kind of look at it, like, well, put it this way, because we've kind of came full circle. And we're talking about small streamers and stuff. If you're a small streamer, the biggest thing is just have fun with what you're doing. Enjoy
have
it,
fun.
because if you don't
Have
enjoy
fun.
it anymore, then people can tell, and that's the
best way for it. The best way for it, guys. If you ever want to play games and stuff, play the games you enjoy, even if it's like a big, massive, saturated platform. Just play games you enjoy. Consider a small streamer, mate, as I've said it, mate. I say it's somebody below 500 followers, and you're only averaging up to 20 people.
yeah.
I know there's a lot of people. I know there's a lot of people like can average more with less followers and stuff, but
Yeah,
that's almost like a universal consideration. But first of all, if you don't, that's right.
exactly.
If you don't enjoy what you stream, you'll never do it. Like, I tried to do everything that everyone else did. I chased the games. I've done everything like that, and I just started hating playing games. So I took my wee break, became a head of content creation, and I literally, for that head of content creation, I built up more friendships than anything.
Yeah. Yeah, and that's it. Is if you don't have fun while you're
See,
streaming,
I'm going to say one thing about you, Joey. I've seen that Hollow Knights game. It's a tight knit. It's one of those tight knit communities that a lot of people will watch, but they only watch certain people.
Yeah,
and
it's
I
quite
think
popular.
you need to be streaming that. I think you need to be streaming that more and more for people to start following and start getting used to you, in a sense.
That's it. To be fair, and I'll kind of put this. To be fair, is there's no right or wrong way to make it big on Twitch. There's a bit of luck, a bit of skill, and a bit of will. Is just in the sense of you take your
You don't get a
time.
bit of me.
Oh God. Ugh. But like you take your time and you find what works for you, and you don't, like, for example, I stick in my niche because I like my niche. I like playing my strategy games. I like playing a game that I can pause for 10 minutes and sit and talk to the chat and then go back into my game. I play multiplayer because it's fun, because a lot of people are in the community play it and like to watch a bit the kind of interaction between me and the other guys that stream, because it's us just all going haywire for an hour to 5 hours and all that kind of thing. And yeah, if you're in it for the money, you don't have as much of a chance of succeeding at all.
Like, guys, I'll put one thing forward as well. Like, a lot of people I've seen in the chats tonight, he's missed out in the podcast that we did 2 weeks ago with Liquid, was it?
Yeah.
Alright, you missed the one we did it with Liquid Hotshot 2 weeks ago, and this just goes to show you about one thing. A lot of you know Liquid anyway, for playing Hoi 4 and other strategy games as well as a wee bit of zombies and stuff. One thing that I don't think Reece was expecting more than anything, I've always been a big zombie nut when it came to Call of Duty Zombies, and Reece thought, okay, I'm going to let these two bounce off each other, because we're two separate, if you want, zombie eras, where I'm from the old school grind, and he's got the new style way it was in Black Ops 3.
I knew I was letting myself in for a long chat. I knew that it was going to be a long chat, but what I didn't appreciate was the fact that for about 40 minutes, like, you literally watch me sink into my chair and just slowly start to just think to myself, what have I let myself in for? And when I even made a comment and it was completely wrong, and I was just like, I don't care. I'm here just to vibe in my chat. That was it.
But that literally became, that was supposed to everyone. We made that kind of like a thing. I go, it's all right, we'll bring that to 10 minutes, 20 minutes maximum segment, and end up going on for 40, 45 minutes.
I think he would have still kept going, to be fair.
We would have kept going. We'll put it this way, we knew what point we had to leave off when we talked about one of the wonder weapons in Shadows of Evil, where it's literally a squid, basically. It's like a squid gun shoots black holes. And this is where the conversation went completely out the road, when we said, yes, and how do you use this weapon? You ram your hand up its ass.
Yeah, that was weird.
That was the end of that conversation.
That was weird. And I did actually kind of miss this from Cole. But yeah, the reason why we were doing the podcast tonight was because Call of Duty Cold War's out tomorrow, and it just suits William because
Zombies.
he's a zombie streamer. That's it. But yeah, I mean, there's a reason why, like,
Chip my tooth.
aye, like we talk about
Just
these.
throw it right now. I've chipped my tooth.
Oh Jesus Christ, man! Like we
That's
talk about
alright.
these
I've had root
things.
canal treatment in, so it's deed.
Aye, that's all right then. But like that's why, for example, I actually sent out some of my early drafts of my guide to a few of the smaller
Yeah.
guys to help them kind of work on what they were doing. I've still like add in, for example, guides on. Like, I'm going to include easy access guides from YouTube, from like slobs, OBS, all those kind of things. Just be extra added bits of value to help people. But it's a case of that's where I see that kind of thing that you did for an org. I see me doing that down the line for people, but on a kind of grander scale and more. It's not necessarily telling them how to set it up, but make them understand what they actually need, and it actually helps them like improve and basically do what I'm trying to do in the sense of create
so what you've done is you've taken the advice that you have been given, and I know for a fact you've gave everybody who's helped you the credit, like you've said so many times.
Yeah.
And now you've put it into the book through your own experience.
Yes, exactly. But I've also, as well as that, I've looked at the kind of marketing idea behind it.
Yeah.
And that's the kind of different side of it. Is it's all about, I guess, everything I relate to on Twitch is marketing based.
I've noticed that myself. And it's really is a really, really good idea the way you're doing everything. You're taking it more as, if you want, the smarter outlook towards everything than what it is.
Yeah.
And really actually keen to advice it. And as I say, like this will go back to an earlier point. The thing I love more about it is you've given the credit where credit's due, whereas people are trying to pass things off for themselves.
Yeah.
Which that's the things that get under my skin is like that. Like one thing I'll always turn around and admit to anybody, and a lot of people here, I can turn around and tell you this right now. Alright. Joey in my chat has turned around and thanked me because I've helped him out. Reece has thanked me because I've helped him out. There's about 3 or 4 other people that have thanked me because I've helped him out. The thing is as well though, I have never held my hands up and said, I know everything. I remember something, I think it was you I was helping out at the time, Reece, that I had no clue about. I tried my best to help him. I couldn't figure out for the life of myself what the
issue was. It was my chatbot.
Yeah, the chatbot. And what was the first thing I went and did?
You went and looked it up because I hadn't a clue what I was doing. And you took the time to find out what it was, sorted it for me. Bob's your uncle. I had my sound command, which is, believe it or not, makes up for my lack of personality. But yeah, that's the thing, is that's why we kind of did it.
And at the same time, if I'm not 100% besides anything, I'll go and ask somebody that I know for a fact I'll know exactly what to be done, because they know themselves what needs to be done.
I know, and shameless plug, but I'll say this, and it's poetic kind of going about it. What do you think of this one? Like, he hates when streamers have goals about themselves and not the community, or making the stream better. So,
you know, my number one thing, poetic, when I started streaming, and I've said it in past streams, I've said it when I've been talking to others and stuff like that when they've asked me, why do you stream? I've said the exact same thing, is I stream to meet people. I don't care about numbers, I don't care about follows, I don't care about subs. Like, everything like that is, to me, that's bonuses. I've done it to meet people. I've met some of my closest friends now through this platform.
I can agree with that, actually. I've done the same now.
Like, perfect example of it all, if you all want it in like a complete nutshell, me and Reece have known each other now 9 years come this December. I met Reece 9 years ago come December. And funnily enough, we met each other in a pub.
Shockingly enough, Scotsman meeting in a pub. Yeah. Aye, one of those ones.
Yeah, what else could go wrong?
Tell me about it.
But once I started getting more and more into this platform and started meeting people, started like doing roles and meeting people and stuff like that, I started seeing people as more than just, okay, this guy's just a streamer. I've, like, as I say, I've already plugged them already, but Gravity UK is one of my closest friends right now on this platform. And I know the guy now, I talked to the guy now outside streaming, outside the chats. And I help each other. I vibe with him, that just using that word the other day, I vibe with him quite a lot. He is such a nice and helpful guy. So Reece has just shouted him out. Anybody who wants to go check him out, tell him they've came over, we've sent you over, whatever. Give him a nice follow, a nice like. Speak to the guy. He is so knowledgeable. We have done a podcast with him as well, so that is on the YouTube.
Yeah, episode
he's so
1.
knowledgeable, and yeah, he's so knowledgeable, and he'll help you out. We've met people as well, like Babs. Babs is brand new, and if you want to know things about her as well, you had the shameless plug.
Yep.
Twitch.tv/Bubbles Babs. She's more of a community streamer than anything. So if you ever go over and watch that, you get community games, i.e. like some marbles, Among Us, stuff like that, things that you can join in and play. That's the way that they play it.
But that's
we've got Jedi as well. Sadly, Jedi stopped streaming right now due to personal reasons, but Jedi is another fantastic guy, and he's another guy who would never do you a bad turn.
And that's the thing is, like, this is what we kind of class as the people that I spoke to when I started streaming. And I got little bits of advice and tidbits.
That used to be the Saturday nights.
I know, when we were really, really bored in lockdown. But like, I'll put this as a I'll put this as my kind of point on that. Poetic is my follow goals are based around my stream leveling up. So not based around subscribers, not based around donations, all that kind of thing. And that's the thing, is I don't see this as a replacement for a job. If I make any money from it, it gets more or less invested back into the stream. That kind of thing. It's good to basically hang out and all those kind of things. But it's a case of this is us just basically vibing online, having a good time, hanging out with people, playing games.
Because I'm having a good time.
And like, for example, and this is my one thing as well, is I won't play I don't mind sub or follower goals. It's like the ones that's pay or job. Yeah, I don't agree with that to an extent.
Chat, $5.
Yeah, but that's the thing, is like the follower goals my main one, because that's where I see myself. Once I hit the 150 followers, like I was speaking about, we go and we you said thank you. You've already been, Jesus Christ. Yeah, like follower only chats.
That's the one advice I'll turn around and give you. Unless you're averaging over the thousands a mark, do not turn on a follower only. In fact, point blank, do not turn on follower only.
I would turn on a slow mode, and now that I understand it. Yeah,
slow mode, or if you really start hitting big numbers and stuff, turn on subscriber only, and that's just to a point where if people come in, you have to keep telling them, like, guys, it's only on subscriber only chat now, just because blah blah blah.
Yeah,
and you explain why. But I run my streams the same way for people who well, to be fair, hardly anybody's ever been in my streams because I stream at weird times myself. But anytime I'm ever in a stream, I don't run ads besides the ones that Twitch force on you.
Yeah,
I don't
exactly.
run any ads. I never ask anybody to donate. I don't even think I've only put donations into it just because I wanted chatbot.
Yeah.
To rename the chatbot.
That's it, exactly. I'm the same.
And that's one thing that Streamlabs forces you to do. Like, if you get Streamlabs and everything like that, they force you to put in donations just so you can get just so you can rename your chatbot.
Basically, and it's not the there should be other ways around all that.
Yes, poetic. That's like poetic. Poetic's like the nail I need. You want me to boost your stats before I know you?
Yeah.
Anybody who comes in, like, I always come in and I always try to strike up a conversation with the streamer. And I'll do another wee shameless plug here for another streamer who I like watching. It's a guy called VBabyV. For anyone who likes fighting games, he's a Mortal Kombat streamer. And he is not, he's not the best. He's a decently high level competitor for playing, but he's all about the show. He has different voices, he does different things. He's always doing something funny. All about the show.
Yeah, and that's the thing.
About.
And no worries, Ghost. Have a good one, man. But yeah, you find that, and it's all about
it's all about the show.
Yeah.
Like that's how Doc made his. That's how Doc made everything.
It's the
all about the
character.
show.
It's the character that
It was
people are
all about the
following.
show, mate.
Yeah. And like you'll find that there's different ways of it kind of it's basically how it works. Like for example, I originally started following certain streamers to play multiplayer games, or 4 games, because I wanted to get better at the game. And now I am friends with a number of different Hoi 4 streamers from big to small, and it's just because I've been able to kind of do that. And I would say that there's certain ones that are a bit, like there is ones that like no, it's cool, Ghost, no worries. There's ones that like are up the top there that don't really aren't able to interact with chat, and I have mentioned them before, and it's a case of like he's just a shameless chat about him now because the name brings in viewers. But Tommy K, and that man is like he's got like what 4,000 subs and all that kind of thing. But he still takes his time to try and respond.
Have a good one, Ghost.
I have a good one, man. He still takes his time to try and respond to his chat as best he can while he's playing these games. He's not able to because of how busy his chat is, and how much kind of drivel is in his chat.
It's the same. It's the same with a lot of people have heard him. He was a huge zombie guy and everything like that. It's the same way Syndicate.
Yeah.
Syndicate doesn't run ads. He doesn't put his chat on follower only. He only ever sticks his chat on subscriber only when he's doing a giveaway because that's his way of giving back to his subscribers.
Yeah, the regular supporters. Welcome in, Zabby.
Yeah. But that's what you look at. You look for people to try to do that. But when you're sitting there averaging 5k views, because that's what Syndicate does averages about 5k views. How are you supposed to keep up with 5,000 people all at once when your chat is shooting? You can't. You catch wee glimpses and stuff like that. Even putting it into slow mode, it still fires. Because you need to remember is, even if you put it down for every 5 seconds for that to refresh, alright, because you don't want to put it down for every minute, and you'll never catch up with your chat. You'll basically be behind all the time. So even putting it down for as slow as possible is a sense to be able to stay, if you want, in the moment with the chat. You are still going to get every 5 seconds 5,000 messages.
Yeah.
Every 5 seconds.
And it burns through you, and there's no way of actually being able to keep up with some of it. And that's the thing is, people will try, and that's why you get slow mode and subscriber only when it's giveaways and those kind of things.
Yeah.
Even
at that, mate. Sorry to interrupt you again. Even at that, take Stally again. Stally averages 300 viewers. He does his best to answer every single viewer.
He does actually. That's crazy.
I've seen myself type a message like, "Hi Stally, how's things going?" and it disappears out the chat, and then like 2 minutes later, he's, "Oh, sorry, Gizzy, I missed your message."
Yeah, that's it. It's people that put the effort in that way. Like for example,
it's that wee bit goes a long way.
Like I lost control of the chat, and I never thought I would at this size, but when there was a riot the other day, and I mean it was a good bit of fun and stuff, but like yeah, there we go. I knew that was fucking coming. But when there was the riot, and it was just a case of I didn't know, like I tried to keep up, and then there was messages coming through that I could try and respond to, and then there was riot and just all that kind of stuff, and it was good fun. I mean, it was.
You know, the one thing I will turn around and say right now is the one thing I do really like about this podcast. Like we brought this podcast up as a platform to be able to talk, educate, and mainly rant. As you say, we kind of look at things from both points of view, but the spiralness that we take, like I went off on a tangent there about 40 minutes ago, give or take, about the way that some people take us, and now we've came right into advice.
But that's the thing as well, is what I've really enjoyed about tonight and the last couple of ones, excuse me, is we've actually had the questions that help the podcast, because this was my views for it, is I wanted to see it become
the idea
more like
behind it all. It's the idea behind it all.
As a podcast first and foremost with its key topics, but almost like a talk show in a sense. Or something.
I'll put one thing forward, and this one I really do like. I'm going to use Joey for this because this is the guy I see it all the time. Joey will personally thank absolutely everybody who showed up in his chat, even if you jumped to 2 minutes. see after he's finished his stream, he will put that tweet out and thank you by tagging you in it.
Yeah.
I want to thank this person, this person, this person, this person, this person, and he thanks you all individually.
Yeah.
But I want to go back to the topic though of a whole cannibalization start of it, if you're okay with that. Because
I think that's a good place to finish it anyway.
Yeah, like we've sat here, we've went on a wee 20-minute talk about how to be supportive, how to enjoy yourselves, stuff like that. But if we're going to go down the line of it and put one thing forward, I have been shit when it's came to things. I can hold my hands up and say that. And Reece knows everything I've been through.
Yeah.
He knows it all himself, that point of view and stuff. I've done a lot of things outside of what I should have done at the time for the roles that I've been in. I was part of one where I was just not a content creator. All of a sudden, because I knew what I was doing, I said I was going to help out. I became host. I became a commentator. I became photographic host of it, if you want. I
basically done it all, mate.
Behind the scenes. I did everything. And I'll be completely honest, I did get a thank you in a sense of I got a free subscription for a month for it as a thank you. But after that, I was kind of put in a back burner.
Yeah.
It was okay, thanks for doing that, but thanks for doing that. Here's a wee thank you, fuck you.
And that's not fair. That's the thing, is it's just not fair at all. And
what was annoying me about it?
Kind of shit place.
What was annoying me about it more than anything is I'm getting messages off of a person at the same time when we were doing this is stop talking over me, stop talking the same time as me, stop doing this. It's like, mate, I just need to hit a stop streaming button and then you're fucked. What you gonna do then?
I know. It's a hard one to kind of justify, but like
there's nothing more annoying than never being thanked. Alright, as much as you could turn and say that was like a small gesture of thank you. That small gesture of thank you came for the owner.
Yeah, I get you.
I've got nothing but love for. But coming down to individuals and stuff, I know hundreds of individuals and who basically don't deserve to be in the positions they are. They don't know how to talk to people and they think they're funny doing things. I remember you pointed one out to me. It happened on Twitter where they basically were abusing somebody.
Yeah, I don't know the full story because there seemed to be a couple of them. I think the person had done something, but it was nothing that would affect them, if you know what I mean. I think they just found them through whatever means, and that was it. They just started taking the piss. And okay, as someone years ago that was a bit of a troll online, I will admit that I would always take the mick, but I would never do anything in the sense that would basically I would always back myself up with information. So I was like that kind of thing.
That's the way that we built this podcast around about that as well, guys. For anybody watching, we do not put ourselves into this predicament of we're only here to rant about everything. We'll always make sure we've got information to back up.
Exactly, and we take our time with like this. We do a wee bit of research before we start doing it. Sometimes we already have a decent background knowledge on certain topics.
Yeah, like regardless of what way you think about it and what way we can do it, we could sit here and go off on a tangible rant about absolutely anything with nothing to back us up. But each of these podcasts, as everyone knows, are 2 weeks in advance. Me and him during that 2 weeks, we take a couple of days of rest and then we start thinking about the following one. And we're literally both of us are online about 45 minutes before we hit a live button and everything in order. And it never goes to plan. It doesn't go to plan.
No, we hit our key topics, but we don't get there in the way that we originally planned. That's the thing, is we'll get there in our own kind of roundabout way, with a bit of support from chat, with something springing into our own minds and basically making us think.
Yeah.
That kind of thing. And that's just how it is.
Yeah, but Poetic, I'll be completely honest with you, and Reece will back me up in this, as I'm possibly one of the most laid back people you'll meet in life, but you're treading my toes. I'm going to snap back at you harder than anybody. And it's not a personal thing or anything like that. This is me basically turning around and going, no, wait, hold on a minute. You're in the rank for this one. or you've done this and that, and I've done nothing but help you in a sense, and now you're doing this. I'm sorry, but I've said it for day one. I treat my friends the nicest way I can.
Yeah.
I treat them the way I would like to be treated, and I help anybody else out. But if you're going to turn around, speak down, talk to you like crap, or the best one that annoys me is take the ideas and the help that I've gave you, pass it off as your own, and then when you make a right roaring cunt of it, and I'm sorry to use that, but you literally do, all of a sudden, now the person who you have, if you want, mucked up, or sort of, I'll even just use it, mate, since I can do it. The person you have over
There we
has
go.
now came to me.
Perfect.
Yeah. That person has now came to me because they're like, okay, such and such tried to help me with this. Could you help me now? And I'll put it like this: I've been away from an org now for about a month and a half, 2 months.
Months almost now. Aye. Thereabouts.
Yeah. All right, and I'm still getting messages off of friends I've got in there to help them with their setups, help them with the platforms, help them sort out stuff. Because the so-called head of their, if you want, department doesn't know his right for his left hand. Although he's sitting with high numbers and he's now pulling in good views and stuff. And why is he doing that? Because all he's done is cannibalise everybody underneath him to make sure that he's got the step forward. And the worst part about it was, it is the most useless person ever, because I have done everything for said person. I have sorted everything out. I made sure their stuff was nice. I made sure their stream was running smoothly. I helped them with their bitrate when their freaking stream was all jumpy. I helped them sort out all with their notifications and that. I showed them the easiest way of setting up their graphics and stuff.
Basically, you got them in place so they could then go on to try and succeed. That was it. As at that point when you were quite were able to work together.
No,
you did not. At that point, you were, but now you can't. It's one of those things.
It's not even the fact that I can't. It's not even the fact that I can. It's no. The point of me is I won't, and no, I don't need to be friendly. I don't need to be friendly anymore. I can now, if I wanted to, as I said, I could rip this into another gear.
Yeah.
And it would be the point of name drop, pulling everybody out, saying absolutely everything. You can't use that word doggo in a chat, otherwise Reece can get into trouble.
Yeah.
That's why I'm beating a lot of my words now.
Yeah.
But yeah, you're right in what you said there, doggo. It is literally
a bit of a C word, yeah. I mean, I do use it, to be fair.
Yeah, he has a bit of.
Yeah. I also thought I hit allow there, so that was the kind of thing. But like,
there you go. Thanks for being back. There you go.
There we are. But
dude, as I say, doggo, I can literally I could name drop this guy, but I've got nothing but love for everybody else in that organisation. It's him that's annoyed me.
Yeah, and it's kind of the inspiration for this topic. With it, and no, it's cool, doggo. You're allowed to say it. I don't have.
No,
as long as it's not said towards someone.
Chat. Yeah, you can say it in the chat and everything like that. Reece needs to be seen as telling you that's a no, even though he's like good on you. But it's one of those ones. The only place you can't use it is in a YouTube video.
Yeah, and here it can be used, but as long as it's not directed at someone.
Yeah, if you're not directing it towards anybody,
then we're okay.
Because the way he used it is an open-ended thing.
Yeah,
so that can mean
sounds
anything.
like that's fine. But I would say I think we'll give it the next kind of couple of minutes and start to kind of wrap up anyway, guys. I think we've hit most of our key topics. I think, to be fair, we could probably do another 2 hours on this of just going down a.
I could rip into anybody. I could rip in. See if you want to go for it like this. It can't be used directly at someone. All right, there we go. Thanks, Poetic.
Thanks, Poetic. I appreciate that, man.
One thing I can put forward for anybody is I can go on, and as I say, I've got past experiences. I can take the experience from being org owner, head of content creator, and just a guy on the outside. I can take the four of them, and I could literally rip into anybody. Like, I've got a past content. I think I did mention this in the past podcast as well. When I was a content creator, I took time off for myself because I needed it.
Yeah.
And when I came back, the org owner brought somebody new in, basically take my position in a sense while I was coming back.
Yeah.
And when I came back, all my other content creators that I had there gone. They all walked because this guy, in a sense, was an ass.
Of course you can, Poetic. You can ping that name to me. That would be amazing. But yeah, so I would say it's leaving you in the lurch, and it's basically once you were out, and I think it's been the long game that was played, in the sense that once you don't have the kind of control there, they then move things over to make it impossible for you to basically get it back in process. So you can't go in and do what you want to do with your previous content creators. Obviously, you've had ideas to help them grow. Yeah, Poetic, you've joined my Discord already. So you're more than welcome to. It's Cartag, I believe. You're in my Discord. But yeah, it kind of. Oh, you had to rejoin. No worries. It's one of those things. Is you leave I lost my train of thought there. You built
it's basically shutting a chapter on my life as well.
Yeah, but what it was you built up these content creators to then help them, because it was variety based that you were doing a lot of work for. And I remember this. And then what happened next was you were basically left in the lurch because you take some time off for different things. You come back, it's all one genre, one game, basically, or mostly one genre.
One genre.
And it's basically you come back and you're basically the only one there doing any kind of almost variety content. And it just kind of leaves you out there. And I think that was probably stage one of them or him directing you out of the door.
At the time of me doing that, I would say so, yeah. As I said, with the most recent one was literally me at the time starting back work, spending time with the family, and it was just a sheer case of you're not doing enough, get the fuck.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think it was said exactly like that, but that was the.
Yeah, I sent you the message.
I know that's how it was implied. That was basically how it was implied. But yeah, it's.
And the problem I have on it, and if you want it in a nutshell, there was somebody who was in that position before this person stepped in, and everybody that he brought into it is no longer there.
Yeah.
All gone. Every one of us now are all gone. I was basically I was the last person there from the variety side, and I'm gone.
Yeah, and that's it. It's not the best. No. Leaves you with a bad taste in your mouth. It leaves you doing this for a kind of a closing point, should you say? It's basically you kind of closing off that chapter, having a rant about it. But also it stands as like a kind of lesson for people in the kind of the kind of smaller networks, and leaves them thinking to themselves, right, hold on, what's actually right for me? Where do I go from here? All that kind of thing.
The only advice I could ever give to anybody when it comes to it is I've been in a lot of org, I've done a lot of things, PT'd, and I've been a content creator as well as run and own. I've done almost everything you can think about. And the one thing I can turn around and say to you is, unless you can build up a very strong friendship with person in that org, i.e. like myself when I was doing head of content creation, that was willing to sacrifice his streaming to help you.
Yeah.
Like I never once would eat alpha for anybody. I wouldn't be like, okay guys, I'm streaming, leave me alone, or I'm streaming, come watch me. I would always put the time forward to help out everybody else, make sure you're okay, stuff like that. Till you can personally yourself find out who your friends are and who is your true support. My only advice I can give you is find your inner circle. It's the best way of explaining it. It's
find the people that you can work with, that you can ask for advice. Maybe not that they're going to support you in every stream, because that is difficult for certain people.
Possible.
But the people that are able to, if you've got a question about something, you can bounce that off of. If you have if you have an idea, you're not sure how it's going to work, you ask them.
Yeah.
That kind of thing. Like I soundboard against you, Gizzy. I soundboard against Liquid now for EU4 stuff because he came better than me. I throw it out in my Discord. Which is quite easy enough for me to do because there's a lot of people that play the same games, that kind of thing.
I need to get my Discord more active. That's one thing. That's one goal for me. I need to get my Discord more active. But again, my Discord's a niche type where I run mines doing about zombies and fighting games.
That's it, man. And it's one of those things is I've only started building mine the last couple of months, so it's active because it's people that are kind of new in. That's the thing, and it's all from 2 games, basically. Mostly one, but 2 games itself, and they both have a lot of crossover play. But
alright, well, that's us 2 minutes, 2 hours and 10 minutes basically. So start wrapping things up, because otherwise we'll start going down a tangible route again.
Exactly, Zabby. Hoy, it's everything that my life is based around, Zabby, and you know it. But yeah, let's kind of wrap.
Welcome, guys. That was me that got him to start streaming.
Yeah, unlucky, guys. But yeah, let's kind of wrap up from there. We've hit our points. We've spoke about the weird side of Twitch. Going from sleeping streams, a bit of ASMR, and just
somehow shot stripping.
Yeah, but that kind of ties in because it's one of those kind of rewards based things, that kind of thing. So it does make sense. We've spoke about the best of and the worst of orcs. We've spoke about the kind of makeup again, but also where the money comes from, where people stand, the kind of small streamers, that kind of thing, how people grow, how people look to improve, all those kind of things. But then we've also looked at basically from that a bad experience with an org, using yourself as an example, but also a bit from a couple of orgs that we know out with that have kind of done things that we've not mentioned the names, obviously. The ones we have mentioned, we actually do support, in the sense of we do think they're doing things 90% right. I'll be honest, say 90% right, because nobody's ever going to get 100% right.
No, nobody in the world will ever get anything 100% right. As you say, like, we will never attack anybody. I'll put that out right now. We will not attack any company or anything like that.
Well, I'll attack companies if I have to. I wrote a dissertation. I wrote 10,000 words attacking a company, so I don't mind.
Alright, we'll just put it forward like this. During this podcast, we try to be two-minded of anything.
Yeah.
If you ever want to be one-sided in something, leave it in comments on the YouTube channel.
Yeah,
put it in the comments that you want it to be a one-sided attack on something, and even give us a subject. And trust me, we can one-side attack it.
Yeah, I mean, or we could each take a side, and one's for, one's against, and it's a structured argument.
You don't want to debate me. You don't want to debate me, because if I'm losing, the debate goes down to any merit, and I'll break your jaw.
That's fair. But like, that's the thing is, like, we would, like, that's the kind of thing is, that's what this podcast is. It's an open source talk, chat, rant about different things, what we enjoy, what we don't like to see, but also it's also kind of a conversation with. It's a conversation with certain viewers. It's a conversation with the chat itself, and it's a conversation between us. Like, that's the thing is that that's generally what we started this as, is us literally having a bit of a rant.
I can tell you exactly how this started off. This literally started off. The idea of a podcast started off where you want to do a talk show, and I said I would happily support that. The idea of the podcast started off when we were messing about in a game. Suddenly a conversation came up, and we just went, we should do this. We should just do this now.
Yeah, and that's the thing is, I think that's the, again, we've mentioned this before, but this week and we see some content on our channels go. It's a case of we talk about things, we rant. That's why I like having a conversation when I'm playing a game.
Yeah,
makes the game more fun for me.
but would say that's a good point to wrap up before we go off again.
Yeah, that's what I'm going to say. Is there anything else that you want to add, or are you quite happy to call it there?
I'm quite happy to call it there. There is something I want to say, but we'll be nice about it.
That's fine. No worries. Well, we'll call it there, guys. Thank you, everyone, for coming out. I'm going to say thanks. I do have... I've had a lot going in the chat, so I'm going to just say thanks again for the raids, the bits, the subs, just to kind of cover that all off. Thanks for everyone that's hung out tonight. This has been the ScotsRant Podcast with me, Reece RO1.
Me, Gizzy the Gremlin.
Everyone have a good evening, and
before we go, do you think we should pass the raid on to Gravs because he's still doing just chatting now?
You know what? Let's do it. That's probably the best way of doing it. We're going to jump in. We're going to say hi to Grav, and we'll go from there. Okay, so I'm going to do that just now.
I've fired up the raid, my friend, so my raid is going active now.
And I'm doing the same. So we're going into Grav, who we were talking about during the stream itself. So we're going to go in and say hi. But yeah, guys, we will do this again soon. Have a good one.
And
how you doing, man? It's great to see you, my man. How you doing? Oh my God, Reece, the double raid! Hang on a sec, you guys were talking about me earlier too. You know what I'm saying?